is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus. Windows and doors that go beyond.
All right, we welcome you back into Rothman and Ice. A brand new sports week with you. It'll be a busy one here in our fine city. Out at the house that Jack built, and we are ready to go. We are Rothman and Ice, as I mentioned. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and CB is back from his little sojourn. How we feeling, boys?
I feel awesome. I feel awesome because of what you said. The weekend was good. You know, it was my pop's birthday on Saturday, so I want to send him another happy birthday. He's living well with Father's Day right around the corner, so, you know, he's spoiling himself and getting spoiled as he should. But, yeah, the weekend was awesome. You mentioned being out at Jack's place. It looks like the weather's going to be incredible for this thing. I'm seeing like high 70s, low 70s going in to the weekend in June. I mean, let's keep our fingers crossed that stays intact because, you know, sometimes you get out there and get real sticky and hot, but I don't think that's going to be the case this year, so I'm fired up.
Yeah, one word, unpredictable out there.
Yeah.
That's it. It's unpredictable, but you're right. If you're not seeing 90s and humid, then that's always good. You dodge the lightning, you're fine, and all that stuff.
No cicadas, none of that going on.
I don't know.
Year.
I thought we were birthing two different breeds of cicadas.
That's not what I need.
But not for the memorial. Okay, but I thought I read that. Am I wrong about that?
No, I must have missed that. I did not see that, but that's not good news at all. That's actually really bad news.
Coming back
because that was horrible. We watched a grown man eat a cicada live in front of us at the memorial just a couple years ago. So, you know, he did have a Miller Lite in his hand, so you kind of can take you inside of his headspace at the time. But you're telling me the creepy crawlers are coming back?
Well, they're around. I just don't. I thought we were birthing two sets of these things.
Oh, great.
Right? I don't know. I think are they in Illinois now?
That I don't know.
My
this
brother
is all
told
new
me
information.
Yeah, it's a big year for them.
Right.
Let's just call it a big year for cicadas, all right? Okay. I don't know when it is. You guys can go Google it. But I think there are billions of them. They're going to take over the U.S. this summer, and I just want you to be prepared. That's who I am. I want you guys to be ready. I don't want you to be blindsided by it.
Okay.
One accidentally flies in your mouth, kind of thing like the reporter down in, you know, the famous YouTube clip, all that pollen. You don't need pollen in your eyes and a cicada in your mouth.
Yeah, you'll probably find me in a hazmat suit outside if that's happening. I cannot deal. So our boy is back. We haven't seen him in over, a week? He's just been out there with his toes in the sand, living well. CB, like, what was going on the past week, big dog?
You pretty much summarized it. It was 8 to 9 days of that, plus a wedding that was very fun down in the Hilton Head area. It was very good.
Okay. Did we eat good? I hope we ate good.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of seafood restaurants for sure.
There we go.
Any upside-down pineapples where you were?
I did wear the swim trunks for you one day of the week.
Beautiful.
For us, in air quotes. Right.
Yes.
For us.
Yeah. Just keep the pictures to yourselves, and we'll be doing just fine.
What was the highlight? Like a restaurant, like food item? Give me like somewhere that you ate good. What would we eat?
It is funny because Hilton Head is very well known to be the destination for a lot of Ohioans, both to visit and to eventually live. So we went to Hudson's, which is kind of this pier location a little bit towards the, I would say, like the northwest part of the island.
Okay.
And it was funny. We found out while getting checked in by our waitress that she is actually from the Columbus area. So it is a very small world.
There we go.
She actually knew some people that I know personally, so it was pretty funny.
It's a small world after all. No,
I love Matty because he gets his calories vicariously through other people. I wish I was this guy. I wish. Because he's the only guy I know that can actually get enjoyment from someone else and not have to have the bad stuff
You're
for you.
so right, because this happened yesterday. I was out.
How about just for an example, we had a really nice key lime pie at Hudson's.
Ooh, okay. I'm not a big key lime pie type of guy. I had it once in my life, and I don't know if I'll ever go back. But you nailed this. Yeah, it just didn't vibe out with my palate very well. So I went out to brunch yesterday with a couple of the homies. And you know me,
didn't eat.
I got salmon, I got a salad, and one of my friends, he got a pimento cheese double cheeseburger with some fries and an order of wings, and my eyes were glued to his plate the entire time. The wafting to my nose of like the Jamaican barbecue wings that he had, absolutely incredible. But here's my thing. I usually crank out the diet, like the serious diet without the weekend stuff, at the, let's say, back end of March. And then we take it to this point, and I mean this week, and that's usually when I start having fun again. I like to get through the Memorial. That's usually my line right there mentally to get through Thursday and Friday of doing the show with you, and then we'll get to the weekend and have some fun. So I will start indulging on the weekends again. I have not been doing that for about 2.5 months.
One of the days I want to witness it. It's kind of like seeing Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. We can talk about it. We hear about it. We've never seen it happen.
I was willing to show you guys my bank statements of where I've been eating. You guys didn't even want to see that.
I'll tell you why, because we think that won't be the exact proof we need.
So
you might have purchased it for somebody else. You might have bought somebody a meal. We need to sit down and watch this happen. It's okay if it doesn't. I'm actually praising you. I wish I was that guy. We'd have food dropped off at the station for years. And Matt would be like, hey, Eric, gonna get yourself some? And I'm like, yeah, I'm probably thinking about it. And he'd stand there and he'd watch everybody eat. It was like a spectator sport. Yeah. It was great for you. And I think it works for you. It's almost like you're getting the benefit of it in a way because you hear other people enjoying it. Yeah. You're happy they're enjoying it, which means you're enjoying not enjoying it, which is amazing.
I've always been jealous of my friends that have crazy metabolism that can eat anything and everything, and it does not affect their body. I just know how I operate. My energy will be low. I'll be groggy if I eat a whole bunch of that stuff. So that's why,
with that?
I
take a nap.
Well, I do get my naps in still. I try to fuel up with the best thing possible. That way I can stay locked in with you 3 hours a day.
Very smart. I wish I had it maybe one day. You know the old thing, what goes up and never comes down, your age. So that's going to be something maybe that you experience one day. All right, we've got a lot for you today. We'll have Spencer Holbrook on from Lettermen Row, bottom of the hour. We'll talk Buckeyes with him. Party like a RothStar as well this hour. We'll have Sam Monson, the lead NFL analyst for Pro Football Focus. He'll come on at 1:33. We'll deep dive into some of the big money being thrown around in the NFL. You know about the big one today. And then Greg Wyshynski, who's the ESPN NHL reporter, will preview the Stanley Cup final for us with Edmonton and goalie Bob and Florida. So it will be a star-packed show today. We've got a lot going on. And, you know, we saw Mr. Carpenter is in the house still right now, which is amazing.
The man just doesn't stop working. He's literally everywhere. He's on Morning Juice right here on The Fan. He does shows on Sirius XM. I believe he does his own show where we'll have Schlegs on there. I think I've seen Joshua Perry pop up. That's on Bally Sports. He's running a business. Like, does he sleep? That's what I wanted to ask. Do you sleep?
I think he does. I don't know how many hours he requires. I don't think he stays up late at night watching TV like I do and you do. I don't think that's his game. It just doesn't, unless there's something he has to watch. I don't think
he was a big Game of Thrones fan, but to your point, like, I don't know what banger shows are out there right now. We are on the cusp of some really good shows coming back in the next couple of weeks. You know, I tried to get you to watch The Boys on Amazon. That's about to come back. House of Dragon is about to come back here in a couple of weeks. Didn't work for you season 1? Couldn't connect, huh? It took a couple episodes for me, AR. Honestly, it really did. But then the back half of season 1, they got me hooked. So I'm going to go in because, you know, I love anything and everything Game of Thrones, but I'm not mad at your reaction there because I think there were some people with you that it was good. It just wasn't great.
Well, the one thing that I wanted to ask you about is because I witnessed this morning in the studio when you and I were talking about the show. Yeah. Most people's cell phones lock. They all lock, right? You can either thumbprint them open or you can put in your code.
They got the face thing too.
Yeah.
You can scan your face and get
when
open.
they're locked.
Got some of my friends in trouble with their girls, by the way.
Wait, tell me that story.
Yeah, so like, you know, on the iPhone, you can, if you don't want to type in the passcode or whatever, you can just literally hold the phone up to your face and it will unlock it. So there's been situations to where, you know, a couple guys that I know, they've been sleeping and their girlfriend wanted to know what was going on, and you scan his face while he's sleeping, you know, there's all the evidence you need.
Here's what you need to do on that. There has to be some sort of upgrade on that that's more of a retinal scan. So your eyes have to be open. Or you shouldn't be able to do it just for the face.
Could you pull a Scotty Scheffler and start it with not having a beard when you get the phone and then grow a beard, and maybe it doesn't work that way?
Still, the AI would probably figure it out. But if your girl is peeling open your eyelids to get your phone open, I think that might wake you up.
So that's out there too. And I know some other things have kind of creeped you out a little bit.
Well, what creeped me out was that you were talking to CB, and then all of a sudden Siri is answering your question. And I said to you, well, why is your phone open? And you're like, well, it's not. It's locked. Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. Siri shouldn't be able to break through the lock.
Yeah, she's got everything. So whenever I say, hey, CB, for whatever reason, she hears, hey, Siri. And she's ready to go to answer anything and everything that I need. But anytime I say, hey, CB, like I just did, you could see that little swirling kind of globe thing at the bottom of my phone. She's ready to go.
So she thinks you're asking for her.
Yeah, and I could say, call AR. And your phone's probably about to start ringing here.
But why would it do that if it's locked?
You got to ask the people that run Apple, big dog. I don't know.
That's amazing.
Just Siri.
Because it recognizes his voice. Like if you tried to do that to his phone, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, you can't do it, but I can do it.
Yeah, but she's always listening to you.
Hey, she's right there when you need her, Just have a friend to talk to all the time.
It's like having a parakeet. Like, that's not right.
So this is going to completely keep you away from the iPhone, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
After you've seen this?
I've been Android for a long time. I've threatened to go to iPhone. I hear how great it is, and everyone says, oh, it's almost like an elite status. Like, wait a minute, you're still Android? Like I'm on a flip phone. And I've got everything everybody else has, and I'm used to all the configurations. I'm used to how to use. I don't want to relearn anything like that. I'll have to,
And I always tell you, your camera is one of the best cameras I've ever seen. The photos that you take. It is amazing. But, listen, my only beef with people that have the Android is when you get into like a group message with a whole bunch of people that have the iPhone, and then you have that one person that doesn't have.
Oh, there you go.
The iPhone, and it's just
phone shaming.
What are we doing? Come on over to the blue team. But Google. I heard Google makes an amazing phone.
The only bad thing about it also is if you're in a group that if you need a picture sent to you or especially a video, they're all going to be blurry. If you're not droid to droid or iPhone to iPhone,
it's tough because
a regular picture,
even converting like iPhone videos onto Twitter. They don't work very well, even on the iPhone. I don't know what it is. But, listen, go ahead and buy your new iPhone. We'll get you an Apple Watch.
No.
When you're out there playing golf, you can close your rings and check your steps and calories and all that. I was
playing with a guy this weekend. His watch kept talking. Like, I hope that thing doesn't talk in my backswing.
The Apple Watch saved me one day because one day I locked my phone in my car like an idiot, and I had my Apple Watch on, and I was able to scroll through my Apple Watch and call AAA. And they were able to come with the Apple Watch. So that was very convenient.
I got a coat hanger that'll do the same thing, Maddie. We can get in that thing. Or a rock. One of those two things.
Oh, man.
If I see a dog in a hot car, I've got that thing, man.
I see you.
I mean, we'll lose a window, but we'll get your phone. It'll be good. All right, by the way, your guys, they got to get rid of the face scan then. If they're really fearful of someone.
Or they could just stop creeping on the low.
No, I think just get rid of the face scan. I mean, why take the fun out of life?
You're advising.
Absolutely.
Keep creeping on the low.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Seems like an easier way is just use the thumbprint.
Pretty wild.
All right. We will, speaking of Carp, the reason I brought him up is because he had Will Howard on his Bobby Carpenter show. And there was the thought about this quarterback room. And the question becomes, is there actually a leader in this QB room? You'll hear what Howard had to say next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If your idea of the perfect radio show is all Buckeyes all the time, then it's your lucky day, Slappy, the Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to ColumbusMen'sClinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. ColumbusMen'sClinic.com. Book your appointment now.
I'm Scotty Vegas, and I just hit on my biggest win of the year. I called Maxima Concrete to create my ultimate sports driveway, and they delivered better than hitting that huge parlay. The neighbors wondered why I just go out and stare with a big smile at the ground. It's because Maxima Concrete gave me the driveway for all my ultimate pickleball battles, my game-winning basketball shots against the kids, and an area to make memories forever. Maxima Concrete does patios, walkways, driveways, and more. Get your free estimate at maximaconcrete.com.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from the other window place.
So Wilson, how do you show customers what new windows would look like on their home?
Well, we just all close our eyes and imagine what their home would look like. Why, isn't that what you do?
Actually, we've got technology that shows exactly how new windows will look on your home.
So no imagining?
Nope.
And I imagine your customers really like that.
Yeah, they do. Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Common Man and T-Bone.
I've declared it. It's awesome. Show's great.
You can't declare this early.
It's great. This is the fourth show that's been great my entire career.
No.
4.
Stop it.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on The Fan.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. And here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Quite a bit of cloud cover out there, but we do get some sunshine mixing in later on today. 85 for the high. Tuesday, temperatures skyrocket to near 90 by tomorrow afternoon. We'll be looking at 20% chance of a pop-up storm on your Tuesday. Otherwise, look for partly cloudy skies. Steadier rain moves in by Wednesday. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus. Windows and doors that go beyond.
All right, outstanding to have you with us here for the week. Memorial Week out at Jack's Place. Practice rounds underway. Pro-Am Wednesday. We're going to make the attempt to do something we've never done, and that's broadcast our show live on Wednesday from the Pro-Am.
Okay.
Which will be outstanding to do. We'll see what comes out of it, which means a very early rise for us on Wednesday, but we'll get all those particulars to you. But it should be a very fun show. I did also see that the great story from yesterday, Bobby McIntyre, the kid that won the Canadian Open, with his dad on the bag.
That works.
Withdrew. So he had earned a spot in the Memorial, which, you know, is a signature event, 70-ish guys.
Yeah.
Playing for $4 million. I mean, they're playing for a ton of money.
Too good for a milkshake?
No, I don't think so. I think maybe the week just wore him out. Just wore him out. I would not, because I first thought, well, wow, who's gonna not want to play in a signature event? The money is life-changing, potentially. But I can only imagine that he just had a real tough time.
An energy-draining weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. You mentioned...
It's weird, though, because like I said, the prize pool is going to be doubled.
Yeah, come get you a bag and get you a milkshake, big dog. Come on in.
Even a horrible finish is going to get you six figures,
That's good
Matty.
living, man. These golfers, it's amazing living. When
Or maybe he celebrated too hard.
You know what? I'm not mad at that.
Maybe he pulled a CB there and just, hey, man, it's going to be a rough week now.
You mentioned that we may have to be out there pretty early on Wednesday, potentially. What are the chances? Because I know you just talked to Jack, with Dom a few weeks ago, that you could say, hey, can we sleep in the basement, Tuesday night? AR and Maddie.
Why the basement? How about a villa?
Well, probably because he doesn't want to hear us or see us at all. I was just thinking, just put us down in the basement.
Taken. You know what?
Can you work on that for Tuesday night?
I'll call my guy John Boy out there.
Yeah.
I bet we could sleep in the maintenance shed.
Maintenance shed.
Yeah, just
nice
lounge out on a tractor or something.
What about the clubhouse? Can they put us in the clubhouse Tuesday night?
I don't think they'd want you in the clubhouse.
No?
No, I don't think that's the look.
Okay.
There has to be some sort of little crow's nest somewhere where nobody goes. You could throw down a couple towels. But you're right. You know what? If that was offered, because I've said this about the Blackwell, but that's a hotel.
Right.
Anyone would ask for that. But you're right. If there's... Although I'm not really sure, because I say it now and then you wake up so stiff you can't even move. But, you're right. If I could be in the clubhouse on one of those couches and just make sure they get me out of there before anybody arrives.
I would sleep there Tuesday night.
That'd be almost too early, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think we'd get the amount of hours I require to probably be functional during a day.
Were you at 7? Is that what you need?
I don't like it. I'd like 8, but I could function on 7, but I think we're talking 5 maybe or less, and that's not very refreshing.
Yeah,
5 hours sleep.
It's been some rough days after 5 or less, but sometimes
I think we throw it out there. Why wouldn't I want to be on the grounds ready to go?
I just put it out in the atmosphere.
Sleep over every night, or at least Wednesday, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
A 3-night sleepover.
I need to sleep somewhere way more comfortable than that.
So now you're not doing it.
Well, I was thinking Tuesday out of the gate, but when you said Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm thinking about, you mentioned just a towel.
How about just Tuesday? Because Wednesday will be the early day.
I would absolutely do it.
All right.
100% in.
And Jack does have a house on the property, too.
Well, Jack, if you're listening.
I think.
Let us in. We'll be there.
Urban sold his house. I don't think we can just show up there.
Is Peyton, Steph
coming in? Living there.
Coming in?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know if that's been absolutely confirmed yet.
Stay with Peyton. He can break down some X and O's with us.
Well, he's going to be in a hotel somewhere.
Really?
I don't think he's staying on the property.
Oh, okay.
Unless they're in a villa.
Which may be the case. I would think you would want to be in a villa, right? If you're Peyton Manning and Steph?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Catered, chefs showing up, all that good stuff. All right, we'll get to Will Howard, who's going to be the chef, hopefully, for Ohio State. If he's not, they've got other cooks in the kitchen. We know about the fact that he played in 34 games and 27 starts and finished his career pretty nicely in K-State quarterback history. So he set the school's career record for touchdown passes, right, with 48. And he did a lot of other very good things. And what you're tapping into here is exactly what I just said, that experience. Now, he doesn't have the experience at Ohio State. There are guys here that have that over him. So Will Howard was on with Bobby Carpenter on the Bobby Carpenter Show and discussed the QB room.
I've been very, very impressed. Coming in, I didn't really know how I'd be received. I was in that position too. I was a guy in a room, brought in a fifth-year, quarterback who played a lot of football, and sometimes it can be received in different ways. But the way that these guys have taken me in and listened to me and taken my feedback on some things and just, kind of heard me out and helped me, in ways because, Devin and Lincoln have been here longer than me. And, sometimes I'm bouncing ideas off them. But honestly, I think we are really, really tight as a room. And it speaks to, the brotherhood, and it speaks to just kind of the quality of the guys in the room and how they've been able to, not hold any, grudges against me for coming in, because we obviously there's one quarterback spot out there. We all want to be out there playing. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is that the Buckeyes are winning, and that we're winning every single day, and I think we all really understand that, and we are really tight. I spend a lot of time with those guys. We really enjoy each other. We have fun together, and that just makes it so much more enjoyable.
Sounds good. It sounds like he's a mature guy, which he is. He'll be 23 when they, right after the season starts this year, I believe. And he has that kind of maturity that I think Ryan Day certainly would want, especially with this roster. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that those other guys aren't trying to get his job, especially Devin Brown. You'd have to think that while, yes, they can have some camaraderie, and certainly they're in it now together, but the one thing you got to ask yourself is this job winnable by anybody else? I don't know. It feels like it could be. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things where you don't come here if you feel like you don't have a really good head start on that job.
No doubt. I completely agree with you. And, just going back to the clip we just heard from Will, I remember one of my friends that I grew up with ended up playing football at Michigan State, but he had to transfer to Cincinnati. And he told me a story of when he transferred to Cincinnati, he was a defensive back, and the DBs just weren't rocking out with him at all. There was no connection. They did not want him there because they felt like, hey, you're coming to take something off my plate. So to hear that from Will, I think is encouraging, right? Is that you have guys that seem to be on the same page, have the same goal, and at least are, on the surface maybe friends. We don't know all the inner workings of that, but that's good to hear because one of my friends said when he went to Cincinnati, he hated it there because the guys that he was around all day, every day, they did not want him there at all. So it doesn't seem like Will's having to deal with any of that resistance right now, but specifically with Will, he might be the one player in college football that has the most pressure on him this year of anybody. If he wins this job, just because, I was thinking about that because it's like when you think about the moves that they've made, I'm sure financially he was taken care of to some degree in NIL. They went and got you Chip Kelly as your offensive coordinator. You have arguably the best running back duo on paper right now. I mean, Emeka, those wide receivers, Jeremiah Smith, the number one recruit in the country. And if he's the starter, a defense is probably not going to require too much from you as a quarterback. So I was thinking, of all the players around college football, is there anybody that's going to have more pressure on him than Will Howard? And I don't know if there is.
Potentially guys that are considered better quarterbacks, Will, because they're more key to their team's success.
But I just think with the team goal this year for Ohio State, and everybody's saying it's Ohio State and some Georgia, that I think it's him.
So you bring up a really good point, and you also have to look at it both ways because on one side, the goal of winning a national title, that he knows that everyone feels like this team should get it done. And if they don't get it done, the quarterback may have something to do with that. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, you can look at it as Ohio State, if he doesn't get it done, then it's going to be on somebody else to get it done, and then the pressure immediately shifts to that person. Will Howard becomes a little bit of ancient history. I don't think Buckeye fans are looking at Will Howard saying, you better deliver us a national title. I don't think he's feeling that. I think he's feeling that internal pressure of knowing he's playing now at Ohio State and might be the quarterback, the starting quarterback for Ohio State. That is huge. But all we've been hearing through the offseason is, okay, just be good. Just be a little better than good at times. And just be great in moments. Like, that's what this team is.
Make the routine play routinely.
You're kind of the caretaker of that. So there's pressure there because you're right. If you don't have to be your best and you're still not good enough, that's not good, right? But the other guys like Quinn Ewers and other guys, I feel like they carry so much more on their shoulders. Like, you'll be the reason that we get there.
See, I think that's all on Will for me. Like, he is that guy because Texas and those teams aren't being talked about the way Ohio State is. And if Will doesn't perform at a certain level, that spotlight on him is going to be really, really bright.
But no one's ever looked at or called him the hired gun. He's more like the hired caretaker.
But perception, I think, is that Coach Day had to go out and find somebody that was better than Kyle, maybe even better than the guys that he already has.
But if Will's not, then that should fall on Day.
But
you identified him.
But it's going to, you know how it works with the quarterback. People were coming after Kyle. That's just the game. When you play quarterback here, and I think when you have this team around you as a quarterback, and they went out and paid you to be the guy, like, to me, he's the guy around college football.
It's there. I'm not denying it. But if you ask me who's got more pressure, Ryan Day or Will Howard,
I think they both equally share a bunch of pressure. There's no doubt.
He hasn't even named him the starter yet.
But that's what I'm saying. We've got a long way to go. I'm just saying, if he is the guy, I think he has the most pressure of any player in college football.
We'll get that feeling from Spencer Holbrook, who covers this team, who talks to these guys. He's with Lettermen Row. He'll come up next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony here for the Good Feet store. You know, we do a segment on the show every week called Pressure, but that's about sports. What about the pressure your feet endure every day? I know mine did. When I went to the Good Feet store, I learned I was out of line. I joked, I already know that. They said, no, physically, my feet weren't being supported the right way. So when I went to the store on Polaris Parkway, they also have one on Stringtown Road, I took all the time I needed to walk around the store to see what felt and fit the best in my shoes. Once I had them in, my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store, my lower back pain went away. What a feeling. You need to get your free personalized fitting by one of their arch support specialists. For arch supports to be effective, they require precision fit. That's why Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store. You like them? You can wear them home. You have nothing to lose but the pain. So go to goodfeet.com today or go in and try the Good Feet feeling. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief, all from the Good Feet store.
Ah, the sweet sounds of spring. The crack of a bat, chorus of birds, and the glorious hum of a freshly tuned AC system. Don't sweat it. Let the Waterworks Heating and Cooling team keep you in tune with a spring AC checkup.
We're all set.
Schedule a visit today and stay cool all summer long. Call the Waterworks Heating and Cooling team, 614-333-9720, or schedule service on our website. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better AC.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Call 614-502-5220 to schedule your free in-home estimate today. And for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free, plus 0% financing for 60 months. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-294-6720. 800-294-6720. Again, that's 800-294-6720. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
A perfect afternoon parlay. This is Rothman and Ice.
It'll be a real big topic as they get into camp once they figure out who's going to be the starting quarterback. And then it'll transfer right to the pressure being the Ohio State quarterback this year. Less, more, or the same. And to me, it's the same. Maddie dropped that it's more based on what's on the line. I said the same because inherently it's always there, and then the roster around this person is so good that they won't have to be all world. It's a great conversation. It's a good opinion on both, I feel. Spencer Holbrook might play tiebreaker for us. He covers Ohio State for Lettermen Row, and he's with us now on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Spence, welcome back.
Guys, thanks for having me. Always appreciate it.
So I hope you heard what I just said. I feel that without having named the starter yet, that it's difficult to just lop all the pressure on Will Howard or Devin Brown, whoever it's going to be. But I think we all feel like Howard, that it might be his job to lose based on him almost being hired here as the quarterback. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think the pressure is on Will Howard, right? Because this is his last year of eligibility. He's not coming here. If he loses the job, he can just, transfer out at the end of the year. He's here to play, and if he doesn't play, then he's almost out of luck. And he could probably apply for another year in that case, but I don't know how well that would go over. So I think the pressure still is on him to win the job. Now, Devin Brown, obviously, I don't know if you can lose 2 straight quarterback battles and then come back a third time and try it again. I guess third time's a charm, if you will. But yeah, I think the pressure is on both of these guys to not only perform but to win that job, because one of them is playing for the rest of his eligibility and the other one is playing for kind of the satisfaction of finally winning that job after losing it last year.
Spence, hit us with your take on whether it is, Devin or Will, their skill set, married with Chip Kelly and what he's going to want to do as an offensive coordinator. Do you think that's going to flow well when we get into the season?
Well, I think that the reason that I still have Will Howard winning the job is because his skill set matches up so well for Chip Kelly's offense, right? The way that he runs the ball, I think he's got over 20, or I think he's got 19 career rushing touchdowns. He's got almost 1,000 yards rushing in his career. Like, he fits the mold of what Chip Kelly wants in his quarterbacks. Now, Devin Brown, obviously, he can move, but I think last year, compared to Kyle McCord, we kind of overstated a little bit the athleticism of Devin Brown. He's an athlete, but it's not, game change. He's not a Braxton Miller type athlete by any stretch of the imagination. So I do think Will Howard's skill set fits that a little better, and that's why I think Devin Brown has to be so good in training camp if he's going to take that job from Will Howard, just because I think the way that it sets up with the new Chip Kelly offense, it really does set up nicely for Will Howard to win that job.
What would have to happen in your mind mid-season for them to make a change? I mean, outside of a bad loss or whatever, I assume. And let me ask it different. I'll ask this way. How much of the first few games do you think they will use to determine who will lead them?
I think they're going to name a starter before the season. I'm not sold that Ryan Day liked the way that they mapped out that quarterback battle last year. It led to quite a bit of confusion, just around the fan base, around, the beat and what we thought that was going to happen heading into that Indiana game with McCord and Brown last year. The way that they handled it was a little bizarre, in my opinion. So I think Ryan Day would much rather name a quarterback in training camp and then go from there. Now, if he names Will Howard the starter and Will Howard is just downright bad against Iowa, or they lose at Oregon and it's because of a 3 interception, 1 touchdown game, I mean, you got a bye week after that Oregon game. So then you're going to have some tough conversations. And then it's a question of, is Julian Sand ready? Is Lincoln Kienholz ready? Or is it Devin Brown? Or is it, those are the layers to all of this. So, it's not something that I think Ryan Day wants to do. He doesn't want to stretch into the season, and he certainly doesn't want to have to play musical chairs with these quarterbacks mid-season. But I think, with the win-now mode that they're in, they're going to do whatever it takes to win. And if it takes switching quarterbacks at the beginning of the season or taking this thing into the season, they will. I just don't think that's what they want to do.
With the expanded playoff and knowing one bad loss doesn't kick you out, does that give a little more breathing room to a guy that, let's just say Will Howard, that maybe he goes to Oregon and doesn't have a great game, or they lose the game, and then everyone's saying, the fans and all the media, oh, maybe he'll switch, that he doesn't because he doesn't feel like the season is lost with one game?
I mean, who's the loss to, Anthony, right?
Well,
if the loss is to Oregon and you lose by 7 on the road at Oregon or 30-24 at Oregon, I don't know if that's time to panic. If it's a 10-point loss at home to Iowa because your quarterback play was pretty bad, I mean, that's a different scenario. Is your loss at Michigan State against a Michigan State team that, quite frankly, is rebuilding, that I think is going to be, playing for bowl eligibility come November, then that's a different conversation. It all depends on who the loss is to. And, at Ohio State, Ryan Day always says, you got to beat Michigan and win the other 11. well, this year more than anything, you got to beat Michigan and win the other 11 and get there and not make anybody panic because we know what losses do to this fan base. So, that would all be loss dependent and who that would come to. But I think the ideal scenario here is that whoever he names the quarterback in training camp has that 3-game springboard against those bad non-conference opponents and then can take that momentum into Michigan State and then into Iowa and then on the road to Oregon.
Spencer, going over to that wide receiver room, I'm going to assume right now that Emeka, he's going to be leading the charge just based off of his experience and his skill set that we know is really good when he's right. I want to hit you with this question when it comes to the receivers. In your opinion, who do you think is going to be let's say the kind of second most consistent wide receiver, if you will, this year when we get this thing rolling?
Oh, man, that's a good question. We're actually, thank you for asking this question because we're kicking off wide receiver week at Lettermen Row today. So we'll have full coverage of the wide receiver room all week and every angle of that and see how we can get that done. But I think at the end of the week, I'll have the same answers now, so I'll go ahead and give it. I think Jeremiah Smith could be the second most consistent receiver on the team. And that's not a shot at Carnell Tate. That's not a shot at Brandon Ennis or Jaden Ballard or some of those other guys in the room. It's just what we saw from Jeremiah was special. And you don't see that very often. You don't see it very often from a junior or senior, let alone a true freshman. So I'll go ahead and kind of plant the flag there with Jeremiah. I think by the end of the season, he's going to be a really, really productive player and gaining some national attention as like, hey, it's not just a 5-star recruit anymore. He's a legitimate playmaker on one of the best teams in the country. And I don't see any other way for him because he was that good in the spring. And that kind of production in the spring usually translates.
Spence, you got an X factor on this team. Not a guy like that. Not like a guy that, may turn into a household name. I'm talking about a guy that might be key to success that we're not talking about.
Yeah, Seth McLaughlin. I've been beating the drum the entire offseason. Seth McLaughlin. If he's snapping the ball well and he's commanding that offensive line the way that he did in 2022 when Alabama had Bryce Young, not in 23 when they had Milroe. I think that this offensive line can do pretty good things. And I know people are kind of low on the line still this year as it's kind of rebuilding under Justin Fry, but also you don't bring Seth McLaughlin in to sit the bench. So I think he's going to start at center. And if he's good, he's seen a lot of football. He knows what the Georgia front can throw at you. He knows what those Missouri defensive lines throw at people from his time in the SEC. He knows what it looks like to go against an LSU in Death Valley. So, this road game at Penn State should be nothing for him. This road game at Oregon should be nothing for him. And if he's snapping the ball well and playing well, I think the offensive line will follow suit. I think he is one of the biggest X factors on the roster, and nobody seems to really be talking about him because there's so many questions about tackle and who's going to play guard and other questions quarterback. But I think he's a big-time X factor.
Well done, my man. Always good to have you on the program. Hope we get to see you soon.
Yeah, guys, I'll hopefully see you out here at the Memorial at some point this week.
You will. We've already set up our sleepover events, so we're good to go. Thanks, man.
Sounds great. We'll see you guys out on the course.
Spencer Holbrook with us from Lettermen Row on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, guys, we are breaking into that great time of year. Summer's starting, and you want to be outside. You want to be walking on a golf course or playing. But what happens when you feel out of energy? You wonder why. You lack motivation. You don't want to get going. You've lost your mental focus. It could be low testosterone. Now, low T affects millions of men. It happens naturally. And the solution for you may be testosterone replacement therapy at Low T Center. So it starts with that quick test that I've been talking about for a long time now, and you'll get your results right away. But here's the key. Low T Center is now offering a free initial test. So don't wait. Take control of your health. So if you're over 30 and you feel the way I talked about in the beginning there, schedule a visit at lowtcenter.com. Now, that offer is going to go till July 6th. You have a little time, but don't wait. Take control of your health. That's lowtcenter.com. Terms and conditions apply. We come back. It's Monday. It's time to party like a RothStar. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you don't like listening to Morning Juice, Bobby Carpenter's man nipples will punch you in the face. For real.
You want to fight, do you? Weekdays from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. And here we'd have dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just a slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
The memorial is here, and we'll be there. And drunk people will be there. And Scotty Scheffler's lawyer will be there. We're live from the memorial starting Wednesday.
Sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling and Orthopedic One. The Fan.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for over 30,000 mouth-watering choices with savings beyond low prices, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. More savings and more inspiring flavors make Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
And right now, 80% lean ground beef in 3-pound rolls is on sale for just $3.49 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
When it comes to getting a new roof, are you confident letting just anyone on the roof of your home? I'm Craig Schottenstein, owner of Schottenstein Roofing. Our team is dedicated to delivering outstanding value on every roof we repair or replace. Whether residential or commercial, Schottenstein Roofing meets the needs of every customer. From roof installation and repair to siding and gutters, you name it, we do it. Call Schottenstein Roofing, 614-321-8888 to schedule your free inspection today. Go to schottensteinroofing.com.
Free is key during Craftsman Days at Lowe's. Right now, get one free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of a V20 drill or impact driver kit for $69. Don't miss your chance to save on the high-quality, high-performance tools you need during Craftsman Days. Because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 6/19. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple of weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Let's all gather into the Kiki. It's time to party like a RothStar.
All right, Ice. Big weekend. So many to choose from. All right. Want to lead off?
I'll follow your lead today.
Okay. Strong West Coast trip for the New York Yankees. 42-19. They went 7-2 against the Pods of the Angels and the Giants. And Sunday belonged to my boy Juan Soto. 2 home runs, 16 and 17. His weekend included going 5 for 8 with those 2 dingers, 4 ribbies, now up to 53. He's currently batting .322. So that means he's second in batting average, 4th in ribbies, 4th in hits, 4th in home runs. And remember, there was no more money left for him in San Diego. So he signed a 1-year, $31 million deal with the Yanks. So we finally have an idea of what it might cost to land him when he hits free agency after this season. Juan Soto and his agent, Scott Boras, are after records, quote, unquote, on his next deal. And what I've been reading, the deal's expected to start with a 5 and have a couple zeros after that in the millions. And when it comes to contract years, he's off to a pretty good start. Juan Soto is partying like a RothStar he did this weekend.
You know what? I'm so glad that you went with Juan Soto because I'm getting ready to talk about his teammate that's just as good. And I'm talking about Aaron Judge. Let's go back to Thursday, and I'll take you through the weekend because you're so right to bring up the Yankees and Soto because they're all on one right now. On Thursday night, you got a dinger from Aaron Judge. Friday night, he hits you 2, and then on Saturday, he hit 1. Over the last 3 to 4 games, this man has 2, 4, 6, 7 hits in his last 4 games. Your guy Juan Soto's top 5 in home runs. Aaron Judge leads all of Major League Baseball in home runs. There is no way that they're going to let Juan Soto leave the Bronx after this year. You keep this tandem together. It's been an amazing year for those guys. Juan Soto, he gets on base, he walks, and Aaron Judge just knocks him in. That duo is the best in baseball right now, and it's terrifying for pitchers all over the place. Aaron Judge, we all got to rise because the 6'7" beast is partying like a RothStar.
All right, Canadian Open, but forget about the winner for a second. I talked about him earlier in Robert McIntyre. I'm going outside the ropes, Matty.
Okay.
A guy named Paul Emerson. Who's Paul Emerson? He's a rando Canadian who was at the event, who was called out to caddy for CT Pan. Why? Because my man, legendary caddy Fluff Cowan, slipped down a hill.
Ooh.
Few stitches from sources I know, and hopefully he'll be okay. He helped Fluff get the bib off, threw it on, and started walking up the hole. He helped caddy for Pan through the 5th hole before they got another guy from Caddy Services to take over the duties. Quote, my heart was pumping a little bit. I'm a golf nut. Walked up and I was shaking hands with Shane Lowry and his caddy and saying like, hey, how are you? The hole went pretty quickly, got up to the next tee, and we had a little time to wait, but my phone was going off. I joked around about how I was hoping to have a nice view of the 4th hole. Now, Pan shot a 1 under 69 Sunday, finished for 36th. My question that I don't have answered, does this guy get a little sum for the effort, Llama? I mean, he caddied for a hole. Big dude, Matty, right out of the gallery, inside the ropes. Give me that bag and let's roll.
Let me ask you something. If your boy Rory came up to you on Wednesday and said, you know, my caddy's out. I need you. I need you this weekend. You tell your boy no.
It's a staff bag, heavy.
I think you try to gut it out. It's your guy.
If Dr. Carpenter would prescribe some things for me, I might be able to pull it off for a hole or 2.
He's got something
Walking
for
that
you.
place without a bag is exhausting. Okay. I'm not talking about gummies.
You may get you a little edible.
Yeah.
You may not feel anything after a while. You never know. You know, you may be feeling good walking around old Jack's place. But you tell your boy Rory no, huh?
You're asking me whether I need a courtesy vehicle home. I might go home in an ambulance.
Fair enough. Second candidate for me, I'm going with a man that was born on March 5th, 1970, right here in Columbus, Ohio. I'm talking about Mike Brown, the Sacramento Kings head coach, because he got himself a new bag this weekend. He got himself a contract that's going to take him through the 2027 season. And listen, we've seen this guy. He coached in Cleveland. He coached with the Lakers, and those stops were just okay. And then he had to be an assistant for a long time under Steve Kerr in Golden State. He got the Kings job. He won NBA Coach of the Year in the 22-23 season and helped end the Kings' 16-year playoff drought. And now, AR, he's getting paid $8.5 million per year. He's had to grind it out as a head coach and an assistant for a while, and now he's come out on the other side with a very lucrative deal. So Columbus's own Mike Brown, partying like a RothStar.
All right, who says hockey is only for cities that get snow? The Florida Panthers, who lost the Cup final to Vegas last year, they're playing for the Stanley Cup for the 3rd time. So they were swept by Colorado back in the 90s, and they lost to Vegas last year 4-1. Now, their win meant that now they've been to 5 straight seasons now that a team from the Sunshine State has won the Eastern Conference. But let me zero in on 35-year-old Sergei Bobrovsky.
Hey.
who's taking down number one is like a thing for him. That's like what he does. He was in the net to beat the top overall seed for the third time in 6 years. The Rangers this year, the Bruins last year, and Tampa when he was in our net back in 2019. Mm-hmm. So all he does is take down the big boy from the regular season. They gave up 5 total goals, winning the last 3 games to beat the Rangers. Just stellar. So Bobrovsky has now made it to the biggest stage twice in 2 seasons. You know he has a pair of Vezinas to boot, but legendary status can get stamped with Lord Stanley's Cup going up against Edmonton. So Baba Orofsky, as I like to call him, is ready to roll.
So the faces of the LA Dodgers, as we all knew, it's Shohei Ohtani, it's Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Clayton Kershaw, but Gavin Stone has been a really good pitcher for them going back to late April. His last 7 starts, you're talking at least 5 innings pitched. The most earned runs he's given up in that window of time is 4. Every other start is either 0 earned runs or 1 earned run. So they got the big bombers, and they're getting good pitching from Gavin Stone, starting pitcher for the Dodgers. He's partying like a RothStar.
All right, that's it for this weekend. Pretty outstanding. All right, SportsCenter update here, top of the hour. We'll get you caught up on everything, and then we come back for the second hour. That will include Sam Monson and Pro Football Focus. And we got one guy named JJ, and he's moving on up. But who are the real winners besides him? We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Need parts fast? O'Reilly Auto Parts has fast. Need them now? We've got now. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. We're O'Reilly Fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Open your door to a beautiful Nature Stone basement floor. This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone. June only, we're making huge deals for Dad with savings up to 50% off any basement or indoor floor. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from the other window place.
So, Wilson, you're running a window deal.
Yep. Buy 1 window, get 2 free. Or 5 or 10. It's all the same.
Oh.
Well, it's not real, but it sounds good to the buyer, so...
That does not sound good.
Oh, it is not. What's your deal?
So we have 5 different window lines so that all budgets can afford Pella without an unreal deal.
Lame.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar.
Whether it's a walk-off granny or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 and older, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a room of rejected mascot memorabilia. Is it real? No one knows. But we do know NJM is proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
This show's sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. We blinked and 2024 is already halfway over. Pretty incredible. What's something that you've done this year you're proud of? Keep up the good work with a moment every week to hit pause, set intentions, and reset in therapy. BetterHelp offers affordable online therapy on a flexible schedule. Take a moment with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Carlin today to get 10% off your first month.
Hey, are you having a hard time dealing with high-interest credit card debt? It's normal, and a SoFi personal loan could help you save thousands by consolidating your DEBT to one low fixed monthly payment. You could get $5,000 to $100,000 as soon as the same day you sign, with no fees required. It only takes 60 seconds to view your rate, and it won't affect your credit score. View your rate at SoFi.com/paid-off. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions at SoFi.com/paid-off. NMLS 696891.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Sad news in the world of the NFL as Hall of Famer Larry Allen has passed away at the age of 52. Allen was a Pro Bowler in 11 of his 12 seasons and won the Super Bowl with Dallas in '95. Wide receiver Justin Jefferson and the Minnesota Vikings have agreed to a new 4-year, $140 million extension with $110 million guaranteed. It makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the league. The Cincinnati Reds are in Colorado to start a series with the Rockies at 8:40 this evening. Andrew Abbott gets the start for Cincy opposite Ryan Feltner. And Jake Diebler has filled his coaching staff, hiring former Penn State player Taylor Battle as an assistant. Battle has been an assistant on Northwestern staff since 2021. This one's sponsored by Nature Stone. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Second hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. We'll get into some fun stuff this hour. All this bully ball in the WNBA. Good God.
I got a question for you real quick. Because we're going to be out at the Memorial this week. Where are you at on patrons wearing golf shoes? Not the clackers, but like I've got a pair of the golf shoes that are like the Air Max golf shoes. Is that allowed? Is that fashionably okay to wear to the course? They got the rubber bottoms, but they just look like Air Maxes, but they're actually golf shoes.
They got some nubs, I like to call them, right?
Are those okay?
Get out of here with your nubs.
Can I bring those out of the closet one day this week?
So here's the deal. First of all, this is an old, drawn-out storyline, and I never have.
Okay.
There are other people that have. Because back in, well, I shouldn't say that. Golf shoes are becoming much more comfortable. Back in the day, they were horrendous, right? You were just using it for grip, but your feet would kill. Now there's so many good pairs out there that they're comfortable, and they've gone away from metal spikes. They realize that they kill the greens, they tear them up. The only people that could wear metal spikes are pros because they actually walk on greens correctly. They pick up their feet, they don't drag them. And I talked to pros back in the '90s when this controversy happened about getting rid of metal spikes and going to soft spikes, and then they had those Black Widow spikes that were plastic, but they were acting just like metal spikes. And all these pros would say, we get really funky lies out here. You know, I got to have one leg up here, and then you got to
dig in.
I need them. And I had one pro, I can't remember who it was, said to me, he's like, listen, you want me to change shoes when I get up to the green? I'll wear slippers. He goes, but I need my spikes on the course. And so is either a pro that told me that or my stepdad. Not sure. Anyway, so but then they started creating pretty good soft spikes, and then guys would go. But yeah, actually, that clackety-clack you hear, like you'd hear in baseball or whatever, when guys go out to the
team
field,
coming a mile away.
Actually, it was kind of cool to hear the metal spikes on a cart path for a pro walking by, right?
Yeah.
But back to your original thing. At the Memorial, the weather's been so god-awful in years that people, when they're standing on these hills or want to climb up these hills, and we had those like almost like mudslides right there at 18 where people would slip and fall on their ass, and it was horrible.
Right.
And so some guys mostly, I've never seen women wear golf shoes out there. Maybe they do.
Okay.
I never really minded it for guys like that when it was bad weather. If you felt like that was your deal, you didn't want to, if you felt like you were climbing hills and thought you need the grip, then so be it.
Yeah.
I mean, give me an old Greg Fry pony cleat or something, like a turf.
By the way, pony cleats haunt me to the day. Remember I told you that story
that's
when
right.
Coach Fry came out to pick North one day? He's a coach there, and he put on the red ponies, and he chopped up our defense. The OG still had it. He was spinning.
He still does.
The rock, man.
So,
shout out to Coach Fry.
But I used to love the turf shoe. I wore it in college. Like, I'd wear it with jeans. Like, it was that. It was that.
Okay.
Like, I'm telling you, you go to class in like a turf shoe, right? But to answer your original question, it is frowned upon socially. You'll get some side eyes. You'll get some. You won't get made fun of. But if you're in like a true golf shoe, like a saddle shoe,
that's not
like something like that, and you're walking around because maybe they're more comfortable. I don't know. There has to be a better gym shoe out there than a golf shoe. But my boy SK might be, hey, give you a pair of Skechers. You could probably walk all day long there. But my point is, if you're wearing, you say, a a Jordan?
No, it's a
golf shoe?
Nike Air Max golf shoe. I bought them a couple years ago, and you know I'm starting to piece together my outfits for this weekend.
Are you really? Are you laying them out on the bed,
I really have them laid out. I really do, though. I have them laid out on the couch right now. Like, I'm ready to go.
Like the first day of school?
That's exactly what I've been doing. I started it yesterday.
I know what you got.
So it looks like a sneaker.
You've worn that in here.
It doesn't. No, I haven't. I've never worn that in here, but it's never. It does not look like a golf shoe.
That's fine.
So you, as the golf master here, I was going to ask, is that okay? And you're saying I can rock that one day this
not
week.
only will be fine, but it'll be mistaken. It won't be looked at as a golf
Sounds
shoe.
good to me.
It's got a little more of an aggressive tread pattern, correct? Like
on the bottom. Yeah, there is for sure.
Those are nice.
Oh, good.
I see those. The Air Max 90G spikeless golf shoe. That's what you have?
Get you a pair.
Are you in the Jordan colors?
No, I'm in mine are like scarlet and gray, honestly, kind of like Ohio State colors. They're all gray with red trimming and all that little red, Nike swoosh on there.
Well, then you for sure won't be made fun of.
Okay, yeah. OHIO.
There you go.
Go Buckeyes.
I don't see that color being offered here. You must have had some sort of. Oh, there they are. So are they white with gray?
No, there's no white in them. They're just all gray and red. You're probably looking at a newer pair. I got these a couple of years ago.
These are on sale right now, sir.
They are comfortable too, man. I'm telling you.
Amazon those babies right to me. We could be twins out there. Be awesome. No, I think if you're wearing that, you're fine. If you went with a traditional golf shoe, I think it'd be like, okay.
People could dunk on me.
You competing? What are you walking? What are you doing? All right.
Stay in your lane.
We have a guy that can afford many golf shoes, pair that aren't on sale, and his name is Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson got paid from the Vikes, and they're, yes. By the way, 5 of the highest paid non-quarterbacks right now are wide receivers.
Can I get the money? Can you refresh my memory?
4 years, 140.
Okay.
So that's in millions. $35 million a year, but he got 110 as a guarantee.
Which is absolutely incredible. And we're now living in the world to where Justin Jefferson, I believe, is making more money than a starting quarterback who won a playoff game last year in Baker Mayfield. Because Baker got, 3 for 100, I believe. So it's pretty wild that we're in this era now. It's the pass-heavy league for, not every team, but a lot of teams like to rely on these superstar receivers, and rightfully so. The dude's absolutely worth it. I mean, the sticker shock of $100 million guaranteed dollars, is pretty eye-opening for that position. But, sometimes you and I like to play the game of going back and, looking at certain drafts. And I don't know how 21 other teams passed up on this guy. I know hindsight's easy to lean into now, but
part of it is need.
When you go back to that 2020 draft and you look at the Raiders and Denver and, the Eagles, those 3 teams have to be absolutely sick because they took, talking the Raiders, they took Henry Ruggs at 12. Denver drafted CB's boy Jerry Jeudy at 15. And then the pick before your Vikings were on the clock, the Philadelphia Eagles selected Jalen Reagor. Now, in between that is the Dallas Cowboys at 17, but they took CeeDee Lamb, so they're feeling pretty good about that, and he's probably on deck to get a similar deal this offseason. But Justin Jefferson's just been an absolute rock star. I mean, he dealt with injuries last year and still got to 1,000 yards. So this is such a good thing, specifically for your team, obviously, but more specifically for J.J. McCarthy. That way those guys can hit the ground running and get that chemistry rolling.
That is big because it's aligned perfectly. It's 4 years.
Yep.
4 years to J.J. McCarthy, 4 years to Justin Jefferson. So the J.J. to J.J. combination, if it clicks, will be there. It is amazing when you go back, and I did not remember that you said, 5 receivers or whatever there were that were drafted before him, and all had worthy resumes to be drafted. And it's not like J.J. was some 6'4", 4'2" guy or something. He was fast enough. He was a 4'4" plus guy, but he's 6'1", and he's a guy that has turned out to, because they were comparing him to like Greg Jennings, a guy like really good, but not like this.
Yeah.
And nobody knew whether, because when you're in the spread, it kind of spread scheme threw the field wide open for him, right? So you didn't know what was going to happen in the NFL when he had to run real detailed routes. But his ability on 50-50, they didn't know even coming out of college. But the separation talent is there, and his contested catch is unreal.
I don't know what more they needed to see after he was cooking with Joey B and Jamar. I mean, that offense was historical. We saw those guys go on to win everything, but your team is the benefit of the mistakes from a few other teams that picked before. And now, like, especially just look around the division, right? The NFC North is just on paper some pretty exciting playmaking rooms, like all over the place. I think I would take Minnesota's number 1. I think I would take your playmakers over anybody in the division right now. I know people are high on the Bears, and so am I. But when I think about Odunze, the one thing in Chicago that gives me a little pause is what I saw last year with JSN. And like a very talented guy, but going into a situation where you got 2 seasoned vets around you that may eat a little bit more right out of the gate. I could be wrong because I think Odunze is going to be good, but we saw that happen with JSN last year where it took him some time to get some chemistry and gain his traction in the NFL. But with what you guys have going on and your head coach as a play caller, after what we saw O'Connell, what he did with a guy like Joshua Dobbs last year, he looked pretty good as a starting quarterback. I like the offense that you guys could potentially roll out there. Now, a lot of it's obviously on JJ, but the playmakers around him, it's kind of giving me like 49er vibes. Like you have a guy at quarterback that we don't think is going to be a superstar that has a chance to be good, but with the cast and the play caller, that elevates the floor of everybody. So I'm in on the Vikings offense this year.
Yeah, it feels pretty strong. We'll see. I don't want to overreact, but because I don't know what J.J. McCarthy's going to be. That's but fair. You're right. If he clicks early, then they've got something. And this is what happens when you have the flexibility to take care of your own, that you're not in a position. Because you and I were both in the camp of before the draft. So we really didn't know what the Vikings were going to get quarterback-wise. And we didn't know how much they'd have to give up to go up and get him. A lot of people thought maybe they'd have to trade with the Chargers at 5 and give up the world for J.J. McCarthy, which I wasn't for. And if we're going to go that route, I was more in the camp of, hey, let's trade J.J. right now. Let's get everything you can for this guy and rebuild the franchise and not just do it with one guy. Now, he is the definition of I will come back to haunt you. Yes. He is the definition of that.
You know that's happening.
And I was willing to actually have that happen. But I do like the fact that because they're swallowing a ton of dead cap money for Cousins. Not maybe a ton in this day and age. It's not $30 million. But $15 million for Danielle Hunter. And so all of a sudden, but with McCarthy on a rookie deal, that gives you the flexibility to do what they did today. So I like that. And here's the other thing. They really like McCarthy. They moved up a little bit to get him. You have to help put people around people that you know are very good. And so that's what the Vikings are right now, is that they've given their rookie quarterback perhaps the best receiver in the NFL.
No question.
For 4 years.
And there's a world where it's kind of like, you know how we talked a ton about Jalen Brunson, right, in the NBA this year when he was playing with Luka. Nobody really knew if Jalen Brunson could be a dude. And he gets to the Knicks, and he turned into an absolute dude. And for J.J. McCarthy, we don't really know what type of quarterback he is if you put him in more of a, let's say, pass-heavier offense. And with the playmakers that they have up there, you're obviously going to want to use them with Addison and Hockenson and Justin Jefferson and the addition of Aaron Jones. There could be a world where J.J. McCarthy shows us a lot more than what he showed at Michigan. That was one of my biggest question marks going into the draft is, can he be that guy when he's not protected by one of the best offensive lines and one of the best run games in the sport? And now with everything that Minnesota has put together, it just gives JJ really good structure. And that's why I can't wait to see when he does become the guy, because maybe it does take some time. Maybe Sam Darnold gets him some games early on. Will he be able to have that consistency with JJ? But JJ is going to make his life easier with just his ability to do everything as a wide receiver and get open so easily.
This is what you can do when you're signing your big stars in the offseason like this. And when you think about the Dolphins just gave Waddle that deal. Yep. And now all of a sudden, I was reading Albert Breer talking about that, you landed it 2 years before the expiration of his rookie deal after Miami picked up his 5th-year option. So the contract for Waddle runs through 2028 with the first 2 years fully guaranteed. So actually, JJ now will get a bite at the apple, second bite before he turns 30. So that's the key for them. But when you think about like Justin Jefferson, the Dolphins, the Lions, the Texans, all these guys getting signed up now.
It's been a big offseason for receivers, right?
Well, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Amon-Ra, and Nico.
And A.J. Brown got a new bag,
and A.J. Brown.
And A.J. Brown got him a new bag. So now we have, tunnel vision on Dallas and Cincinnati. And when they pulled the trigger on Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb. And do they think those guys are going to be worth $100 Ayuk?
Yeah.
I don't know if Ayuk's getting 100.
Probably not.
I don't know. It feels like CeeDee and Jamar could get $100 million guaranteed because now it's set. It's set.
So when I was saying about those other teams for taking care of their own, it's not only good you do that, but it's good you did it then when you did it, because every next guy seems to be raising the bar.
Absolutely.
So when you think about the Lions and the Dolphins and the Eagles, and they got to that ahead of the market.
Smart.
It seems smart. We'll see what happens with Dallas and Ayuk. All right. When we come back, I'll tell you what, whether she's a villain or a sympathetic figure, I don't know. But why is the new star getting treated like this? Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you, too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Open your door to a gorgeous Nature Stone floor. This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone. June only, they're making huge deals for Dad with savings up to 50% off any garage floor. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver. Leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
Are you not able to enjoy the summer as much as you want because of joint pain? This is the time of year for being outdoors. It's the best, but not if your knees, shoulders, hips, or back are hurting. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here at QC Kinetics. Call them today. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about lasting pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and best of all, no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your own body's biologics and help restore and repair damaged joint tissue so you can walk, run, hike, play golf, move, swim, all pain-free. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of former orthopedic surgeon Dr. Mitchell Sheencup, a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. They have locations in Columbus, in both Gahanna and Dublin. Their advanced protocols have enabled tens of thousands of patients to reclaim their mobility. So go check them out at QCKinetics/Columbus or give them a call, 380-208-4544.
The Buckeye Show.
You wonder how there's ever a year where there's not at least one first-round pick. It feels easy, but it's not that easy. It's like golf, you know? It's not that easy.
The Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Schottenstein Roofing and Care Source.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to columbusmensclinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. columbusmensclinic.com. Book your appointment now.
Low Fiber Business is now in Ohio, and your business is our priority. Low Fiber delivers reliably fast, custom, and prepackaged internet plans to meet the growing needs of your business. And our dependable 24/7 personal support means your business stays connected. Low Fiber is here, and we mean business. Find out more at 833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiberbusiness.com today. Glow Fiber Business is not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Do you know someone struggling to figure out their mental health benefits? The Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office is here to help. Find us at insurance.ohio.gov/GETMHIA or call us at 855-438-6442. Don't wait. The Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office can help you figure out what mental health insurance benefits may be in their plan. Call us today at 855-438-6442.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Looking at highs getting up to the middle 80s. It'll be warm and humid today, warmer and more humid on your Tuesday. By tonight, we drop down to the mid-60s. Tomorrow, we're going 87, 88 for the high. Very humid and muggy with a 20% chance of a pop-up storm. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus. Windows and doors that go beyond.
When Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA, she came in with incredible hype, but it was legitimate hype based on what she did in college. She literally was Steph Curry on that side of it, being able to shoot from anywhere. And she was as deadly of a weapon in college as we've seen. Going into the WNBA, you knew it was going to be a level up in defenses, plus being on a bad team, defenses could really just try to take her out or let her get hers and just make sure nobody else does, and that could be a strategy as well. But what I saw this weekend was kind of upsetting, and not from a sports standpoint. We've seen physical play before. Maybe I'm not used to seeing it as much in women's basketball. But during Saturday's win, she was given a pretty hard foul away from the ball. Now, we've seen screens before and all that, and your teammates have to call that out, right? That's as old as it gets. But she got hip checked to the ground when there was no call for it. It wasn't a part of a play. It was in the backcourt. It was an inbound play. And the only motivation of it was to physically blindside her a little bit. It wasn't a screen. It didn't look like that to me. And so I sit here asking myself why. And maybe the answer is that the other women in the WNBA are very much envious of the treatment she's been given. This almost anointing her or putting her on the throne before she's there. Now you're in our league. Earn it. I get that to some degree. But why can't they treat her as a professional? This seems to me unprofessional. Parts of it. And so who's this girl? Is it Chennedy Carter?
Yeah.
That scored and then gave her a hip check shoulder
had a little,
to the ground?
Little something verbal to say, too, before that, which, that's
I didn't
whatever.
hear that.
Well, you kind of read her lips, they are, before the hip check happened. Let's hear from Caitlin. I think CB's got some sound. Here's Caitlin's reaction, I believe, post-game to the foul that you were talking about.
Talking about how coming into this game, you guys had to be more physical, a little bit more hungry. Did you get any type of understanding from the officials on how you guys are doing that at this point?
Yeah, that's just not a basketball play, but, got to play through it. That's what basketball's about at this level. So I thought we've been really physical. We've missed some bunnies around the rim, and so hopefully those fall in the fourth, but really proud of our defense. I thought we played great defense so far.
So there's no denying right now for me that Caitlin Clark is the rocket fuel for the spaceship that is the WNBA. She is absolutely, she has everybody talking about this. Came in this morning, it was all over the TVs and different shows talking about what we're talking about right now. So the product, the WNBA itself, they're winning right now. Coming into the year, we knew that they were going to have a bunch of her games nationally televised all over the place. And I think you brought up a really good point. I think there's absolutely resentment, jealousy, whatever you want to call it, from certain women in the sport right now, because I'm sure the vets and the women that have been there, done that, feel like she's being crowned way too early. We heard this from Diana Taurasi during one of the March Madness games, essentially saying, hey, when you come into the WNBA, it's not going to be that easy for you, not going to be that smooth. I totally get that. With this situation here, look, it was an unnecessary move. There's people now pulling out videos from earlier in the game that I guess Caitlin hit the same woman with a little bit of an elbow. So that was the beginning of that. But this reminds me a lot of Lonzo Ball. And remember when LeVar was doing all of the media stuff all over the place and telling everybody how great his sons were going to be before they even dribbled a basketball in the hardwood in the association. And I remember one of Lonzo's first games. Patrick Beverly, who we know is a polarizing guy in the NBA, to say the least, really got after Lonzo. And this is just what happens when you have these men and these women that come into different realms of sports or whatever. And you could just kind of zoom out from sports and talk about this in life. If you have just this hot rod, this lightning rod of a person come in that you feel like hasn't earned anything or has worked their way to the top right away, there's always going to be some negative energy towards her. So for Caitlin, unfortunately, I don't know if this is going to slow down. This isn't the first time that this has happened. I watched a couple of her games, and people are getting up for her, and people are, because of what you mentioned off the top, She'll give it back to you every once in a while. Mm-hmm. So when you have that blended in with what may be some jealousy, you're going to get situations like this. But there's no question. I mean, the nudge, the shove, whatever you want to call it, it was out of bounds. It was way too much.
Part of that, I also feel like may have come before this, which is when she came into the league, I'm sure every player by every media member got asked about Caitlin Clark coming in the league. Mm-hmm. And that's not what a lot of people talk about us, talk about my team, talk about our game. Some of these people don't want to talk about that. Now, the WNBA and these players better think a little more clearly on the big picture because they should want her to succeed. I'm not saying you want her to beat you. Show up, play hard. I'm all for that. It's professional. But this seems to be targeted. It's a little more than normal of game planning for somebody. Now, you brought up something I didn't know about. If she's playing a little physical game first, this was above and beyond, like you said. But here we are. And I don't know where this is going other than the fact of if people think they're going to make her quit the league or something, that's not happening.
No, that ain't going to happen.
But I understand what you're saying about people being asked. I remember when this first happened, when Tiger Woods first came on the tour, he had a couple of cocky moments. Not that he couldn't back him up, but there were times where he would come in and he would shoot, he'd play really well, and then he'd come to the meeting and say, I had my C game, right? And nobody wanted to hear that. Right. Now, to him, maybe it was true, right? Shoot 65, left some putts out there. This is my C-plus game. And the other pros, and I'm telling you, behind the scenes, they were like, enough already, all right? We know you're great, all right? I don't sense that she's been boastful of her ability. I think she's gotten everything that comes with that, which is the endorsements, the commercials. She's the it girl now, and everybody knows it. And so where we're going with this, I don't know, but it feels like this is very short-sighted by these players in the WNBA. Not that you don't want to beat her. I get it. You put it perfectly. You should want to get up for that. Mm-hmm. You should want not against us, not against me.
But to your point, especially with a sport where a lot of these women have talked about, hey, we're not getting enough attention or we're not getting, paid financially what we believe we deserve. She could be a bit of a trailblazer for that. When you talk about maybe some of the TV deals that could come into play if she's out there doing her thing. I'll tell you what would have pissed me off if I were Caitlin Clark, though, in this situation, is no one really came to her defense after this happened. None of her teammates. I need somebody in an Indiana Fever uniform to get a tech or to do something to show that we're in this together. That really bothered me as well. And if I were Caitlin, that would tick me off. Because where are my teammates at to galvanize around me to at least show me that they've got my back in a situation like this? There needed to be somebody to, essentially get a lick back to let them know, and not just let the team that they were playing know this past weekend, but let the league know that we're not having this as a team. You're not coming after our teammate and Caitlin Clark. Somebody needed to step up and be an enforcer, if you will.
Well, so I heard Matt Barnes say that.
That's what I'm saying.
And then I heard Draymond Green say that.
And those guys were those guys. So, somebody needed to do that. You need to protect your own.
Is it weird that I think that that's just so uncommon in women's sports? Like bench clearing brawls? Fights?
I'm not saying a bench clearing brawl.
Well, it might turn into that if somebody from Indiana decided to go clock that girl.
But I'm saying they come down the floor next time. Yeah, somebody's getting a nudge, a Bill Laimbeer, a Dennis Rodman, like something, because we're like you can't allow this to happen to what is your prized possession. You just can't.
Well, the girl that inbounded the ball did go help her up.
Which I would have been like, I can't even say what I was going to say.
No, I mean, her own teammate, I mean.
Oh, which is ridiculous. Like
she didn't help her.
That girl needed to
at least got that.
She needed to feel some type of pain.
I wonder if the personalities involved. It's so fundamental. They're very good. They're at the professional level.
I think the only real close example we've had recently was the South Carolina LSU SEC tournament game.
Listen, CB, there's some trash talking going out there. There's some static out there between these women, which I think is great. But I just think you have to set the tone and not only let your teammate Caitlin know, but let everybody else know we're not having this. It ain't happening.
I just wonder if you have the personalities, if you have those types of people that are willing to do what you're saying. Find an enforcer and hire somebody like that or sign somebody.
Listen, I'll tell you what,
to protect her.
The Indiana Pacers, we watched that happen this year. when they had that little situation with Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks where Giannis wanted the ball. Remember that? He was going crazy, and there was that kind of beef between those two teams. Immediately after that, the Indiana Pacers went out and signed James Johnson, who's a black belt, because they said, you know what? We have this guy. If you guys want to take it there, we can take it there. And I'm not saying you got to go hire somebody, but just show me as your teammate that you got my back. That's all I'm saying.
Gretzky had his McSorley. That's professional hockey. I just don't feel like that we're at that point. But I will tell you, if you and I were TV executives or people involved in the WNBA and we were talking about this behind closed doors, secretly they're probably loving this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, not to a certain extent. You can't get it where you're getting players just tossed left and right.
No, I don't even want that. But just get in somebody's face
she should have
verbally let them know.
She got a T, right? At least.
I think they upgraded the foul to a flagrant.
Yeah, so after the game, they did upgrade it to a flagrant one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you're right, though. Everybody's talking about it, AR.
But yeah, I mean, she's got to play basketball with eyes in the back of her head right now.
Yeah.
All right, we come back with Sam Monson, lead NFL analyst, Pro Football Focus. We'll get his take on the Jefferson contract and what's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The only radio station still operating with an active booze cart. I'm drunk right now. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here, and the playoff action is here, and there isn't a more rewarding sportsbook in the game than Tipico. Get ready to bet on the biggest games of the year, the playoff basketball, the hockey, the actions every night. You want to make the most of every game, you've got to bet with Tipico. You'll get up to 5% cash back on your bets. Claim your new sign-up bonus now and get $150 in protected bets when you deposit $100. Sign up now. Enter the promo code TheFan150 to get your bonus. Download the Tipico Sportsbook app today. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions do apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your bathroom is boring and basic too. It seems like there's nothing you can do. A better bath awaits. You'll feel brand new, relaxing in a world of peace at the Bath Authority.
Schedule your free in-home estimate today and get $1,500 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. Restrictions apply.
You're our priority at the Bath Authority.
Atlas Butler is built to keep you comfortable, and our plumbing services are no exception. You can rely on Atlas Butler for trusted, convenient plumbing and drain service. Our expert plumbers and drain specialists can take care of anything, from a broken water heater to a clogged drain. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here, and I want you to picture this. Cannonballs into the lake, s'mores at the fire pit, sleeping under the stars. Well, that could be you when you visit my friends at RCD RV. RCD is having its summer open house, and you don't want to miss it. Huge RV savings all month long in June. New travel trailers as low as $14,995. The area's widest selection, over 600 new and pre-owned RVs in stock. Start your summer adventure at RCD RV. Visit one of the 3 Central Ohio locations or online anytime at rcdrv.com.
The Fan is your home for the Dallas Cowboys.
No, we're not. You can't say that. Take 2.
The Fan is your home of the Buckeyes. Yes, that's right. Same thing, but more playoff success. Now give Big Voice Guy another brandy. Thank you. The Fan.
The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to ColumbusMen'sClinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. ColumbusMen'sClinic.com. Book your appointment now.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The best bet on the radio. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, he's our friend Sam Monson. He's the lead NFL analyst at Pro Football Focus. And he's with us now on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Sam, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me, yeah.
JJ breaks the bank, rightfully so. He defines the player that could come back and haunt me. Although the Vikings are not in the greatest place in the world. They've Band-Aided this thing together. I'm not saying don't pay him because you don't want to let elite stars get away, but Maddie and I did discuss, a couple months ago about what could they get for him. Obviously, they didn't do that. They paid him. It aligns pretty well with their new rookie quarterback. Will it turn into anything? What do you think of the Justin Jefferson linking him to McCarthy for 4 years?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I mean, I'm in the camp of when you find a guy that's so transcendent, that's that good, you don't trade him away almost regardless of what the asking price ends up being, because ultimately somewhere in that asking price, you're going to have to replace that guy. And even if you're trying to do it in the aggregate of what you can get with all those players, it's hard. The certainty of knowing what you have in that superstar is so valuable, and we've seen it go badly, with things like the Khalil Mack trade, where analytics would tell you the Raiders won that trade every single time, but they didn't. They couldn't find even the aggregate of players to match what they had in Khalil Mack. Jefferson's a superstar. He's the best receiver in football right now. Even in only 10 games last season, he still broke 1,000 yards, averaged almost 3 yards per route run. He's absolutely the type of player that you should be signing, even to a deal that resets the market. I mean, this is the best paid wide receiver in NFL history. It's the best paid non-quarterback in NFL history. And I think, with a quarterback on a rookie deal, you can take that contract. You have one of those in the bag in terms of the salary cap and, the kind of structures of your roster. You can make a truly transcendent player, the best paid player in NFL history outside of the quarterback room. So I think it makes sense to tie him down and to give your rookie quarterback the best receiver in the league.
Sam, quickly, is he the best receiver in football? Let's all just He is?
Yeah, I think so. I think unquestionably at this point.
I want to stay in Minnesota, Sam, and get your take on their quarterback situation, because we were talking earlier about the NFC North, and it looks like on paper right now there's a chance to have a bunch of good playmaking rooms up and down that division. But J.J. McCarthy and Sam Darnold, where are you at with maybe J.J. starting, or maybe you think he needs a little bit of time? Your thoughts on the quarterback situation in Minnesota?
I think it's all going to be determined by what J.J. McCarthy looks like through training camp, through preseason. Darnold is there as the bridge if they need him to, but if McCarthy's ready to step in and play right away, there's no reason to delay it other than you would be concerned that he's not, that it would harm his development if he isn't ready right away. McCarthy was great in college, but he played a different offense and a different set of requirements to every other sort of top rookie prospect this year, where he didn't have to carry the offense. They didn't ask him to do it. They didn't need him to do it. And it's not that he couldn't. It's that we don't know. We have no idea what it looks like when you change that dynamic and ask J.J. McCarthy to shoulder the burden a lot more than he ever had to in college. If he had to do what Caleb Williams did or what Drake May did or what Jaden Daniels did, would he have played the same? Would he have had the same level of efficiency and the same level of accuracy and the same level of impact? We just don't know that. And so that's what we're going to be finding out in training camp and, through the preseason, is if we change the ask requirements, if we ask you to be more of the focal point of this offense, are you going to show us the same things we saw in college, or is there going to be this adjustment period?
Sam, the 49ers were close to winning the Super Bowl. They didn't. The Chiefs won it again. but most betting sites have the Niners right there. Now, I think it may have flip-flopped a little bit in some places. And I know a repeat would almost probably be tough to predict. How deep can we go this year in true Super Bowl contenders? Can we get to 12? Where do you stand?
Yeah, it feels like the last couple of years, there's just been so many of these teams that can become a true Super Bowl contender. And obviously, some of them fall off during the season. I mean, the Jets were supposed to be that team last year, and that evaporated after 4 snaps with Aaron Rodgers' Achilles. But I think we're looking at kind of a similar thing this season. There's a lot of teams that are either in possession of a quarterback like Josh Allen, like Patrick Mahomes, that immediately turn you into a contender, almost regardless of what the rest of the roster looks like, or they're teams that don't have that guy but have assembled a roster good enough that they can contend even without that guy. So the Cleveland Browns, I think, are the team that comes to mind there. That roster is phenomenal, and Deshaun Watson hasn't even played good football for the Browns yet, and yet if he's anywhere, even around average, you would expect them to be contending just because of how good the rest of the team is.
If you were running the show right now in Dallas, how would you be handling the Dak Prescott contract situation?
It's tough because the longer they delay on this, the more expensive that deal becomes. And the Justin Jefferson deal only made their lives more difficult as well because CeeDee Lamb is next in line for that kind of contract. And maybe, Lamb is not quite the player that Justin Jefferson is, but he's close enough that contract is being pushed up in value the longer they delay. And the same thing is true with Dak Prescott. Every quarterback deal that gets signed while they're negotiating only almost sort of rubs out the whiteboard and makes you start over again from a new math, from a new inflated sense of what these quarterback contracts are becoming. They did this once before with Dak Prescott and ended up signing a deal that, he justified, but has put them in trouble and has created this rod for their own back that they're now trying to deal with. I don't really see a scenario where you can move on from Dak Prescott if you're the Dallas Cowboys. So eventually you're just going to have to sign him to whatever deal you can get over the line. And the longer that takes to get done, the higher the number is.
I'll ask you a funny question. We always talk about the teams that can win it, that are the best, the teams that are going to make leaps. But we're so draft-centric. So who's on the clock already for you? Like, who's picking number one next year? Is it Carolina? Is it New England? Is it other? Like, who's going to just face plant again?
I think those are the two obvious teams to talk about. What if Bryce Young doesn't get any better from that rookie year? Then the Carolina Panthers are absolutely on course, I think, for that number one overall pick. But the other one is definitely the Patriots, who, they drafted a rookie quarterback, but the situation around him is not nearly as good as it is for any of the other young quarterbacks that got drafted as well. Their offensive line still looks like a problem. The receiving core is still very much a question mark. And then the defense, which has been so good for years, well, it doesn't have Bill Belichick anymore. So that may be the area where Belichick's departure is felt most, is that defense was still really good a year ago. And we don't know if absent Belichick, that still flies. And, now you might look at this group that is just a sort of collection of flawed players, and no longer is the jigsaw puzzle able to be pieced together into this elite defense. So I think those are definitely the two, really obvious candidates for that number one overall pick.
Real quick, Sam, I want to ask you about Tua and Brock Purdy, because when those guys, their names comes up, it seems like there's always a yeah, but that follows in regards to, well, they have all the weaponry and great play callers. You guys break down the film. What do you see when it comes to Purdy and Tua, and I guess the credit they deserve within the offenses that they're in?
Yeah, I always think of that as sort of like a credit pie chart, right? Whatever we're producing right now, one of the top offenses in the NFL, in either case, there's a credit pie, and we just have to figure out how big a piece belongs with the quarterback, with the protection, with the coaching, with the receivers. And it's a different answer for every guy, and it's impossible to know. But I think in each case, we understand that the piece for Tua and for Brock Purdy is smaller than it is for, say, Patrick Mahomes, or even a guy like Josh Allen in Buffalo. It's a smaller piece of the pie, and ultimately it doesn't matter until it comes time to sign a contract, because right now it doesn't matter if Brock Purdy gets most of that pie, almost none of that pie, or somewhere in the middle. The 49ers have him cooking and playing at this incredible level, and the offense is so good that they're one of the best teams in the NFL. It becomes important when contract negotiations start. And now Brock Purdy's moving off literally the best value contract in football, and you have to figure out how close to, the next blockbusting deal does he deserve to get. Like, does Brock Purdy belong in the Joe Burrow contract kind of world? And if he has, a huge slice of that pie, then maybe. If he doesn't, then the answer to that is no. We need to try to figure out a way of batting that number down if you're the 49ers. And I think the same thing is true in Miami with Tua, that we know that Tua is helped by Mike McDaniel, by Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, all those other things. We don't know how much, and that becomes relevant because they're like Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. They're in this world now trying to figure out how much money he should get within that offense.
Well done, my man. Always enjoy the conversation. We'll talk again soon. You know that.
Anytime, guys. Take it easy.
Thanks. Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus lead NFL analyst. Buckeye Bulletin coming up next. Now, maybe one game that some people have pointed to as a upset alert for Ohio State. Vegas has them winning comfortably. We'll tell you what that means next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The Fan is live and local with morning juice, caffeinate, and dominate.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome to Reverse Aesthetics. Our medical weight loss program includes popular medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide, both of which are supercharged by our body sculpting treatments. Under the supervision of our board-certified medical doctor, Reverse Aesthetics will help you achieve your weight loss goals while tracking progress quarterly. We have plenty of inventory and can begin treatment within 48 hours of your consult. Schedule now at reverse-aesthetics.com or call us at 614-656-4000.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
When I'm not voicing Wendy's ads, I'm gaming. I stay up and fueled because Wendy's delivers late.
Are you recording a Wendy's ad? Come on!
Got 'em. Whatever you're up for, we're down. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Delivery Late Night. Open till midnight or later.
Hours and delivery availability may vary.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the dopes at The Fan.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Hey, it's Anthony here for the Bath Authority. You spend a ton of time in your bathroom, and if you're trying to ignore your old, outdated bath or shower or that mold and mildew along with the broken tiles, you got to call my friends at the Bath Authority. The Bath Authority provides the highest quality bathroom remodeling products along with a world-class customer experience. And all Bath Authority products are 100% made in the USA, and they can be installed in as little as 1 day by certified factory technicians. TheBathAuthority.com. A better bath awaits.
Free is key during Craftsman Days at Lowe's. Right now, get one free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of a V20 drill or impact driver kit for $69. Don't miss your chance to save on the high-quality, high-performance tools you need during Craftsman Days. Because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 6/19. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town, with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats, too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. And you start going through Ohio State's football schedule. And you feel like, okay, where could they get got, right? Like, what could happen? Now, we know from competitiveness and talent-wise, we know how tough that game in Oregon will be. It's never easy to go to Happy Valley and destroy them. Obviously, you know the rivalry game. And then you start looking at one of those, like, trap games, if there is for Ohio State.
Meet you in the trap house?
And who knows?
It's going down?
Yeah, stole my goods.
A young jock?
Yeah. Trap house, stole my goods. I don't know. I mean, I know what you're talking about. I don't know exactly specifically.
I want to see you do the It's Going Down dance, the young jock. It's going down.
I'm not sure I know that one.
If I showed you the video, you probably watched it at that time when it was hot, back in the day.
Back in the day. When?
Back in the early, it was probably about 2005 to 9 in that window.
Yeah, I'm a blur. 05 to 09. You know. I mean, I'm good from probably about 83 to 99, and then it all just kind of...
CB just said 2006. Your boy was, that was listening to those on the bus, man. Young jock. Where's the trap? Where could the trap game be?
The trap game, I don't know where it could be. I know that some people were saying that when you have your eyes focused on going to Eugene, and that's the big one, and you're undefeated, and you go to East Lansing and you annihilate them, and you're coming back, and all everybody can think about then is, okay, can't wait for Oregon. So it's like, okay, can you look, because you can blink and probably score more points than Iowa, right? Like that. That's what people are going to think.
Man.
And so I've heard a lot of people say, well, that's the trap game. It's after you go on the road and beat Michigan State, and you come back home, and all you're thinking about is going to Oregon.
And all you're hearing about from the national TV shows and national radio shows and our shows is we're a week away from Dylan Gabriel and the Ducks. And I'm with you. I like that Iowa game specifically for the offense.
Can I mention one more thing real fast?
Yeah.
Just to kind of throw something, an X factor in.
Yeah.
Iowa will have a bye week before Ohio State.
Okay.
I'm just throwing that in. I'm just adding that to the whole equation.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
I do like that test for the old Buckeyes offensive unit before they got to go out to quack land, because that defense that Iowa has, more times than not, they're pretty legit. Now, we know Ohio State has firepower all over the place, and they should be able to push through that. But I like a nice test before you got to go into Oregon, is there a hostile environment? Can I say that?
At Autzen? It could be.
It looks cool on TV, but you're right. It could be, but I do like that. And you do have Cade McNamara, a veteran quarterback who's still, what is this, year 7 for him? They're around forever.
Well, here's what the experts are saying, Matty. They're wagging the finger at you.
Oh, Dikembe Mutombo
saying,
style,
no test for you. No test for you.
Not so fast, my friend.
They've got Ohio State as a early 24-point favorite.
Feels appropriate.
Against Iowa at the Shoe.
Okay. Feels appropriate.
So,
by the way, Cade McNamara is 24 years old right now. Looking good.
Well, Will Howard will be 23 this season.
Yeah.
I mean, what was Wanky, like 27? Floating around Tallahassee?
Oh,
and wouldn't that be great?
Day.
CB just driving through the oval at like 28.
With the upside-down pineapple shorts on? Like, hey, man.
Well, yeah, he wouldn't be driving then. He'd be walking or hanging out.
Yeah, just getting my tan.
Wouldn't be good.
Getting my tan on at the oval, you know?
We've red flagged somebody in the oval as a strange man walking around with swim trunks on that have pineapples that are turned upside down.
What type of message is he trying to send?
Not bothering nobody.
Just chilling.
It's a beautiful day.
Just out here chilling.
Beautiful day in the oval.
Oh, man.
So anyway, that's out there.
Okay.
Melo's son, Kyan Anthony, is looking at Ohio State. Okay. This is per On 3. So the 2025 top 30 recruit. So Kyan is the son of a 10-time All-Star, Mello. And he's eyeing visits to Ohio State, Indiana, and Auburn. CB, do you have a crystal ball on this?
I think the consensus around the sport is that he's going to follow his father and go to Syracuse. Yeah. But, he's taking his time and viewing all his options. But it seems like everyone's expecting Syracuse.
So we got Coach Diebler, Coach Bruce Pearl, and Woody on this? Is that right? Yeah.
Feels like
I think those are the head coach. Did I see Coach Diebler this weekend threw out a first pitch at the Guardians game?
I believe he did, and he also was busy hiring his final assistant.
Break the news, CB. Who do we got?
It's Taylor Battle, the former Penn State guard, and I believe he is brothers with Boo Buie.
Really? Because
he's an assistant at NU, right? That's where he came from.
That's where he came from, yes.
When you said the brother statement, I thought you were going to say with Jameson, because during a break I asked AR, said, is there any relation with Jameson Battle? But you're saying Boo Buie and Coach Battle are relatives. Okay. Learn something.
Well, I need to look into this more, but I thought I heard that.
Interesting.
He graduated from Penn State in 2011 with a degree in Parks and Rec.
That works. Nice little show, too.
And he was top 5 at Penn State in literally everything.
He's a baller.
I felt like every category. And he's from New York.
What part of New York? You got that?
Albany, like up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know if he's a Brooklyn guy?
Upstate.
Or Bed-Stuy. Okay. All right.
You represent Queens. I was raised out of Brooklyn.
I was waiting for it.
Well, like I said, I'm good for something from pre-2000. But listen, he helped them because he helped them get to the tournament. Battle did as a player. I think it's a nice hire for him. Mm-hmm. This is very cool.
I like the way we're going with Taylor, too. It's Talor. I like that.
Talor.
I haven't seen that.
How old is he, CB? Do you know?
That's a great question.
If he graduated,
I was just going to
do the math on that.
He is a brother of Boo Buie. Okay. That is true.
Much older brother.
Much older, yeah. I can look it up, but
because you're talking about at least 13 years older, I bet.
Okay.
So he must be right around 34, 30?
Very close. He's 35.
Okay.
Right in his prime.
Anyway, that's a great ad. Good for him. He knows the conference, been around, been helping Northwestern here, and now he's going to be helping Jake. All right, that is today's Buckeye Bulletin. Sports Center update here. Top of the hour, we get back into our deep dive. And the X Factors, who are they? Especially in that tough AFC North. We'll identify it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Summer is finally here in Ohio, and the best part about summer is the fresh fruits and vegetables. And the best place to find them, well, it's one of my favorite places to eat. That is Bob Evans, because they're going to make sure they have the farm freshest ingredients right to your plate. They have 3 new salads: the steakhouse salad, the grilled chicken chopped salad, and my favorite, the summer berry salad. Grilled chicken, strawberries, blueberries, pecans, feta cheese, everything you like, it's all there, and it's all fresh and delicious. So go check them out and learn more at bobevans.com.
Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. If you have open roles, chances are you're feeling this too. That's why you need Robert Half. Our specialized recruiting professionals engage with our proprietary AI to connect businesses of all sizes with highly skilled talent in finance and accounting, technology, marketing and creative, legal, and administrative and customer support. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Something amazing is happening at work. Innovative tools are helping people do better work. That's because CDW configuration specialists are multiplying productivity with Microsoft Windows 11 Pro Surface devices. Built-in security, flexibility, and simplified management streamline tasks so your team can get more done. Microsoft and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/surface.
Hey, it's Anthony here for the Good Feet store. You know, we do a segment on the show every week called Pressure, but that's about sports. What about the pressure your feet endure every day? I know mine did. When I went to the Good Feet store, I learned I was out of line. I joked, I already know that. They said, no, physically, my feet weren't being supported the right way. So when I went to the store on Polaris Parkway, they also have one on Stringtown Road, I took all the time I needed to walk around the store to see what felt and fit the best in my shoes. Once I had them in, my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store, my lower back pain went away. What a feeling. You need to get your free personalized fitting by one of their arch support specialists. For arch supports to be effective, they require a precision fit. That's why Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store. You like them? You can wear them home. You have nothing to lose but the pain. So go to goodfeet.com today or go in and try the Good Feet feeling. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief, all from the Good Feet store.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Wide receiver Justin Jefferson is officially the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the NFL after he and the Minnesota Vikings agreed to a 4-year, $140 million extension. $110 million of it is guaranteed. On the heels of winning a series against the Cubs, the Cincinnati Reds are in Colorado, starting a series with the Rockies at 8:40 tonight. Andrew Abbott gets the start for Cincinnati, Ryan Feltner for Colorado. The Guardians an off day as they travel to Kansas City. Former Ohio State coach Urban Meyer and former linebacker and current linebackers coach James Laurinaitis are nominees for the 2025 College Football Hall of Fame class. The inductees will be announced early next year. And NFL Hall of Famer Larry Allen has passed away while on vacation with his family in Mexico. Allen was just 52 years old.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, final hour of the program. Greg Wyshynski will help preview the Stanley Cup final. Goalie Bob and the boys against the Oilers. That should be fairly star-studded. I don't know where CBJ fan lands on this. I will tell you that he went where he went. They didn't pay him. I wasn't a big fan of giving him that kind of money where the organization was. I understand that you pay stud goalies and centermen. Those are the guys that deserve $10 million a year. And I'm a big fan of that theory. I subscribe to that. And so he has been a stud. He's been a stud lately. They never knew when he was going to get over that hump mentally. He's gotten them this close. Now he's going to face that firepower of Edmonton. I like Florida in this. They're so complete. But I would be lying to you if I didn't say that part of me is still, can I still trust Bob at this level? Now, I think this is just an awesome final that I can't wait to talk about, because if there's one thing you do know, usually it takes a couple knocks at the door to go get this thing, and they've got experience now, and he's been there now 2 years in a row. Whether that lops on pressure that he doesn't handle or handles, we'll find out, but I love it.
Let me ask you this, AR. I don't know if this is an apples-to-apples comparison or whatever that saying is, but is it similar to what the Guardians fans have gone through with Lindor and the energy that's around him in that situation? Would it be fair to comp those things together when it comes to Bob? Because you mentioned the money, and he went and got money elsewhere, and my mind went to Lindor. And I know CB was one of those Guardian fans who were like, you know what, boo the heck out of him when he comes back. So I am curious, like the energy towards Bob from CBJ fans, and whether or not they want him to go down or they're rocking out with McDavid and the Oilers. What do you think?
My gut is that they're pulling for Edmonton. That there's something about it but he wanted out eventually. Now, I don't know if they would have paid him or given him enough to want to stay, but he did get the ocean front view that he wanted, and he got to the point. Right. I never fault guys for that. Yeah, but he was very good, obviously, with the Jackets, and at times we needed more from him. Yeah. And he just didn't seem like he wanted to dig down deep and get that in the other areas that they wanted him to get it to. But the best part about it is that they pulled off the trade because he was traded to us. And when you look back at it, a second rounder, ironically, that they used to grab Stoli, the goalie, and a fourth-round pick. So it was a second, a fourth, and I think we gave another fourth. It looks like one of the great trades that we could have ever had. Right. And it looks like a really bad trade for the Flyers. If anybody should be playing the what-if game, it probably shouldn't be us. Yeah. It probably should be the Flyers.
And, just to kind of continue to talk about Lindor, on the flip side is if you're a Guardian fan, you're good with it because he hasn't been good at all. right, with the Mets. So that eases the things. And maybe for some Jacket fans to see Bob be right here in the thick of things and a few games away from winning the Cup, maybe there's a little
bittersweet.
maybe there's a little bit of bittersweetness. Where'd that bitter come from? Bittersweetness going on towards old Bob and the Panthers.
When you're the biggest goalie on the free agent market, that's a big deal. You can kind of pick and choose and get paid. And he got the $10 million a year that he got from Florida. And, we knew the intentions of the Blue Jackets before he was set to be a UFA. Part of it was he accused the Jackets of not acting. And so I don't know, but we went all the way up to that trade deadline and kept Bob and kept Panarin, and then they grabbed Dutchie and Dzingel, and a Stanley Cup run was in the making. It was in the making. They just couldn't tip the series. Yeah. It's the most fun time we've ever had as Jacket fans. It was. It felt like, and then pushing the chips into the middle when they weren't already in, and putting the pressure on that team and Torts and that staff to get them in. And I will tell you, and I know this for a fact, if you go back and look at that year, what they had to do to get that team reset and try to make it was nothing short of a miracle in my mind. It was really unbelievable. If I go back to the regular season, I think people will forget about this. When they got into February, they were losing a bunch of shootout and overtime games, these one-goal games. They're all going the other way. And I'm looking at it right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They lost 8 games in a row between February 8th and February 22nd.
And turned it around.
That means they they just tied the tourniquet on, is what I want to say. They stopped the bleeding. I got you. They won 2 games in overtime, and they got there. And when they were trailing, I almost want to say they were trailing Vancouver in that last game. But part of that was, listen, JD was getting ready to go to the Rangers, and there was an all-in feel that it was it was a wild time. But we come back to Bobrovsky, and here we are, 2-time Vezina guy, and there were a lot of conflicts, a lot of meetings with that team. I don't think he loved being here. According to him, they offered him a sports psychologist. I think that sent it down a weird road for him. And he was 21 years old, and he acted like, hey, the team's criticizing him and isn't sure that you're not going to like that, right? You want teams to back you. But from their standpoint, we're trying to help you.
And he's probably looking at it like, you guys are putting out a perception that I may be mentally weak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's tough. I get it. Fun series on deck, though. I'm excited. I really am.
It is. It really is good. I'm just kind of in my mind right now, like thinking back to that time.
We got to wait until Saturday? Why are we waiting until Saturday?
Well, look how long we've waited for the NBA Finals.
I know. I'm with you. I had beef with that
Thursday. I thought it'd be tomorrow at least.
My goodness. Saturday. Let's get it going.
Man, more time to think about all of our bets. We talked about the X factor of the AFC North before the show. I think there's one we can agree upon.
Well, before we get to that, because the reason why we cooked this up is we had our guy Dave Richard on Friday, fantasy football guy from CBS.
Dave Richard.
And he, when we were talking about the Steelers, was all in on a young playmaker, and it kind of raised our eyebrows and got us to maybe a topic we got today. So here's Dave and his thoughts on a playmaker in Pittsburgh.
And I'm a huge Roman Wilson fanatic. I thought that he was great at Michigan. I think he's got a chance to be competitively close to George Pickens statistically this year. I know that Pickens is someone that fantasy managers are hot to trot with. I've been watching him, Pickens, for a long time. He was on my breakout list last year. I told everybody that would listen that he'd have a better year than Deontay Johnson. He did. Now I'm not so sure that he can go and have a greater year than Roman Wilson. I think they'll be pretty close together. And I don't think there's going to be a ton of targets there from week to week because I don't think the Steelers want to throw the ball from week to week.
So if the offense for Pittsburgh is going to get spookier for defenses this year, I think that absolutely has to happen. We had a conversation earlier in the show about J.J. McCarthy and whether it's like, we don't really know now the NFL. If you open things up for him, can he be more of a guy at the quarterback position with his arm. And I think the same thing could be said for Roman Wilson, where it's like this is a wide receiver coming from a run-heavy offense, but does that mean he doesn't have a good route tree or doesn't have consistent hands or whatever it may be when you want to question a wide receiver? He's all in, obviously, on Roman. So then that kind of got us down the road of, well, who are some of the X factors around the AFC North?
So I know we're going to agree on one.
Who's
I
one?
think
Who we got?
Because I think there is only one massive one offensively with Cleveland, and that's Jerry Jeudy.
JJ.
There is no other one. Deshaun, it goes without saying.
I had
right?
a different
But
one in Cleveland.
You did.
It's the collective unit for me of the running back room.
Okay.
I
see that.
completely understand where you're at with Jerry Jeudy, but to me, AR, there's a world that, let's say Judy's play falls a little flat this year. I still think there's enough there with Cooper and Njoku where you could make up for some of that.
Mm-hmm.
The run game for me with Ford and what's going on with Chubb, it's like if Chubb can't, be available, or if he's not as sharp as we're used to seeing him sharp, which is one of the best, if not the best in the sport, what is the run game going to look like? So I had the Browns running back room on my list of X factors in the division.
It's a good thought. I know that Browns fan probably doesn't want to entertain life without Nick Chubb right now because they think he could be superhuman and come back. And certainly the Browns think he can, or they would have done what I brought up a while back, which was to move on from him. And it would have been a business decision that affected them emotionally as a team. Yeah. Sometimes you do have to weigh that. I'm not saying that, the old line, you start thinking like a fan, you'll be sitting with him. Like, you don't have to do everything that the fans, but there is something about the Cleveland Brown fan that they just tie their identity to Nick Chubb. And I understand that because it's been their identity for a while. He is the ultimate difference maker when he's healthy, but he wasn't, and now hopefully he'll be back. Yeah. But will he be the same guy? But I think you have to weigh that. You have to weigh paying a guy, because you could make the case that, hey, let somebody else, he won't come back to haunt us. He won't be that guy. Not only they know, like they should know more than anybody what he's capable of. But I do think you weigh the emotional value of what that could do to that locker room. Now, it's still a business, and they had every right to treat it like a business, but I think you're right. That is such a big deal.
I got another guy, and this one's personal for me.
For the Browns?
No, for the Ravens.
Okay. I just said this one's personal. I thought it had to be either about the Bengals or the Browns.
For my Ravens, I'm going with Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman, first-round pick a couple years ago. We watched him here in Minnesota, or at Minnesota, do his thing for the Gophers. And so this offseason, for whatever reason, the front office hit him with the contract extension. Now, the money is very light. I don't think that's going to come back to bite them at all. But he just hasn't been available. And I think it's fair to call the guy a bust because during his 3 years in the NFL, you're talking 12 games, 6 games, and 16 games. And the reason why I'm labeling him an X factor is because I think at the end of the day, the run game's going to be there. That's what they do with Lamar. And now with the addition of Derrick Henry, I feel confident that Zay Flowers, that's a hit for them. I don't know if he's going to turn into a Jamar Chase or one of those guys. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think he will be a good wide receiver for them. But if Rashad Bateman can be out there and be a consistent playmaker for them, that makes, I think, the Ravens offense more complete. So I'm going with Rashad Bateman. You got paid, former first-round pick. You haven't done hardly anything in the NFL. It's put up or shut up time. It's time to roll.
Yeah, I like that one. The biggest one for me probably in the division is Justin Fields. I do. I think there are people that are calling for the Steelers to be a sneaky division title winner. Now, would be almost absurd to me if they could beat out the Ravens and the Bengals with a healthy Joe Burrow and the Browns. Now, could they hang in there? Of course, because that's what Tomlin does. They just hang, and when you take them lightly, they can still beat you because they got a great defense. And they do survive a little bit on that running game. But to me, and I'm not saying Russell didn't fall on his face completely last year, but the X factor of all X factors is can they find a way to tap into what the Bears couldn't? And is he motivated enough because he feels like, hey, the Bears gave up on me and they picked me and they gave up on me or they didn't help me enough? Like, how motivated is Justin Fields going to be to show the world? Now, does he have to work harder, try harder, beat out another veteran quarterback? Yes. Show Pittsburgh what he's got. But I think this could be – it's got a it's got an all or nothing kind of feel to it.
I hear you, man. And I think the motivation has to be through the roof. I think it has to be through the roof because of what you mentioned. And yes, that fire that's going to continue to burn in his gut all the time of Chi-Town gave up on me. Not only did they give up on me, but the new guy that they replaced me with has amazing playmakers around him in year number one, and I didn't have any of that. And also, there's financial motivation, too, that whether it's Pittsburgh or not, right? When we get to the finish line of 2024, you got to hope that you put some good stuff out there on tape that way, whether it's, the Rooneys or some other ownership group says, that's our guy, let's hit him with a new bag. So, yeah, I completely understand where you're at with Jay Fields.
All right, we will come back. Pre-snap reads. C.J. Stroud is so good, he's starting to rank quarterbacks. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I work for Meijer. People always ask, why do I shop there? It's because I can get great quality and value in one stop. Like this week's hottest deals on certified Angus beef and locally grown asparagus. Plus, I can earn M-Perks points every time I shop for groceries, apparel, at the pharmacy, or when I'm at the pump. Meijer has all I need in just one stop, and the same low Meijer prices in-store and online. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to protect against wear and deposits. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99 in-store only. Limit supply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver. Leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube. Watch us live or on demand by searching 971 The Fan. Which fan host will awkwardly scratch their privates? Let's find out together. Find us on YouTube, The Fan.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. And here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Wasteful Washington spending is driving up the price of everything in Ohio. Groceries, gas, housing. Senator Sherrod Brown has backed President Biden's agenda 97% of the time, including voting to allow spending tax dollars on illegal immigrants. Senator Brown voted to allow $500 million in COVID checks for illegals. And Brown voted in favor of taxpayer-funded health care for illegals granted amnesty, while some American citizens can't afford to see a doctor. Brown even voted with Biden to give illegal immigrants Social Security benefits for work done illegally. Call Senator Brown at 216-522-7272 and tell him to support S3578, the Protect Medicaid Act, and vote against reckless, out-of-control Washington spending on illegal immigrants. Ohio families need cheaper gas, food, and housing, not handouts to illegal immigrants who haven't played by the rules. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Quite a bit of cloud cover out there, but we do get some sunshine mixing in later on today. 85 for the high. Tuesday, temperatures skyrocket to near 90 by tomorrow afternoon. We'll be looking at 20% chance of a pop-up storm on your Tuesday. Otherwise, look for partly cloudy skies. Steadier rain moves in by Wednesday. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, Maddie, Bet365 time.
Yes, sir, my friend, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. All
right, mental hedge time for me again tonight. My boy Scooball going for the Tigers against the Rangers. He'll be on the road. The Rangers don't K that much in relative to the rest of the league. His over-under on Ks is 6.5. The funny thing is the over is a pretty big favorite, so I'm going to take the under for the value. Under 6.5 Ks at plus 105.
All right, I'm doing a look ahead here. I'm doing a look ahead, and I'm going to Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Give me game one, Dallas Mavericks going into Boston and winning it at plus 210.
Money line.
I want the Mavericks on the money line right now in game one. You and I have talked about this Celtics team at home. You know, they're just, they're okay at home. And I know they're going to be rested, and I get it, but Luka and Kyrie are rested too. I can't wait for this series, AR. I'm hopping on the game one train right now for the Mavericks at plus 210. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right, let me bring up the Houston Texans schedule because I want to make sure that if anybody was left out of this ranking, that he doesn't play them. Because you know how athletes are.
Bulletin board.
So
material.
there was a float around today, C.J. Stroud, and he's done a little bit of backtracking after revealing his initial. Now, back in the day, if you asked a quarterback, hey, who are the best, or any player, who are the best five, you know what the stock answer is? Hey, that's for you guys. That's for you guys.
Boring.
Right. The athlete would always say, hey, that's not my job. Is just do the best I can. And I don't know where I land on any list. That's up to you guys. You guys have fun with that. That was the stock answer.
No, you're right.
But the athletes of 2024 and beyond,
they don't care.
Hey, put a microphone in front of me. I'll rank them. And so C.J. Stroud had a NFL top 5 quarterbacks based off of last season. So that may be the out. Because just last season.
Yeah, it's already in the past. Yeah. It's already bad. This was on the $1 million worth of game podcast. And I think we're getting right to it. CB, here is CJ's top 5 from 2023.
Final 5. I know what I'm doing, dog. Mahomes, Lamar, myself, Dak, Joey B. No, he didn't really play last year. And then Hurts.
Dak?
Yeah, bro. Dak, that boy.
Well, you going to put Dak Prescott in there over Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I got I'm saying for last year, dog. He ain't play all year. He got hurt.
Well, we can find somebody.
Burrow, one of my favorite players. I'm out of my game after Burrow a little bit. Like,
why are they trying to trap him? He said twice. It's last year. He was injured. I can't put him in there.
And also, can we put, look, I get the playoff stuff with Dak, but we got to put some respect on the man's name. He finished second in the MVP race last year. Like, he's a really, really, really good quarterback.
Playoffs.
Who does fall short, has fallen short a certain time.
At the brightest time.
In the playoffs. I know, I hear you, but I just think we've gone way too far the other way with Dak. So I have no issue.
Because he wants to get paid $60 million a year.
And guess what?
That's why we're
guess
going
who's
the other
going to cut
way.
the check? Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. They don't have a choice. They don't have a choice.
Work with us, Dak.
He's got him by the you-know-what. Because there's I know you don't like this. No tag clause. No trade clause.
Oh, I know. He's got him.
He's got him.
In CJ's updated list, which he posted on his Instagram account, he kept the top 3 quarterbacks the same. Mahomes, Jackson, and himself.
Mm-hmm.
But he gave the number 4 spot, the spot he had for Dak, to Josh Allen. And he moved Dak down to 5, saying somebody gots to go. The Anthony Rothman rule. Somebody comes in the club means somebody's got to go. And he knocked
a bigger club.
He knocked Jalen Hurts out.
Make some more VIP boosts in it, no?
Fire marshal, be honest. Stroud added that he feels Joe Burrow, as you heard, was in the top 5, and then the injury. Now, he took some heat on this. First of all, for including Prescott, by the way, who Maddie just said led the NFL in touchdown passes last year, and 12-5, and all of that. But he's 2-5 as a playoff quarterback.
Great.
After Jordan Love went in there and carved him up pretty good. That's not on him. He doesn't play defense. So this is kind of where we are.
It's so hard to do that too, right? Especially when we're in this era of really good quarterback play, really good offensive play. Like ranking a top 5, you're splitting hairs between a ton of those guys.
You know who else he left off?
Who's that?
Tua. The guy that led the league in passing.
I don't think Tua would be in a lot of top 5s, man.
Probably not.
I don't think that he would be.
Left out Goff. Second in total yards.
I think that's fair.
Left out Purdy. Top 5 in passing yards.
That always doesn't tell the story, though, right? We know. Like some of those games are you're down late and you're throwing, garbage yards and all that stuff. Like there's so much context that could be added into that. But there's just so many good quarterbacks right now.
What stat would we look at the most if we did look at stats?
That's a good question. My mind went to completion percentage, but that doesn't really tell the entire story.
But you can dump off.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know if there is a specific stat that really tells you everything.
To me, it's the ratio. It's TD versus pick.
I like that.
That's probably the one because I can't have a guy throwing 20 picks or.
No, I like that. I think you nailed it.
I don't care how many touchdowns you have. Now, the leader in touchdowns we mentioned was Dak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me give you the top 5 touchdown guys and see if any of those guys are also top 5, Maddie, in least picks, because then we could come up with our list. Here are your top touchdown guys. Dak, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, and Josh Allen.
Okay.
Actually, sorry, Tua's tied. Tua is in the top 5 in touchdowns.
I think we're going to run into a bit of an issue with Josh. He's a heavy interception guy.
Right. I'm just looking for the crossover guy.
I hear you.
And touchdown picks. The top 5 least amount of picks. We get any of those guys.
By the way, like play the Mr. Unlimited, CB.
Player.
9th in the NFL in TDs last year.
Mr. Unlimited.
That ain't getting talked about enough. I don't think I even knew that. Like Russell, if you would have told me Russell Wilson finished 9th in the NFL in passing TDs, I would have been like, really? Okay, Russ. I see.
So I say he didn't fall flat on his face like people say.
No, he didn't. That jumped out to me when you started rolling down those guys. Like I didn't know that.
CJ Stroud had 5 interceptions last year. That's amazing.
That's insane, wasn't it?
I mean, it really is amazing. 5.
Yeah, and they were spinning it
over 23 and against 23 touchdowns
because they weren't protecting him.
And by the way, he put the ball up 500 times.
That's what I was saying. Right. They're not. They didn't baby him last year. Yeah, that's incredible.
Dak, honestly, it's Dak. 36-9.
He was good, man. It's just the playoff.
He's got to be in that list. Unfortunately, it's just the playoff. And where are you?
That's the playoff thing. It weighs so heavily on everybody's takes and opinions of a player. But I think you do have to try and zoom out from that. And I know that's tough because the body of work for Dak, it's production there. It's just gray area.
Lamar 24-7.
You got to add in the rushing touchdowns too. For Freaky. You know how he gets down.
We have a listener weighing in. His name is Robert Carpenter.
What we got?
Yeah, yards per attempt, he says, is the truest number.
So
yeah, that's pretty good.
The general talking about pushing it down the field a little bit there.
That's pretty good.
Yards per attempt last year,
but
your leader
But that
was,
just means we're throwing it around. That doesn't mean yards per completion.
Well, that means the general would be a Brock Purdy guy. Tied for, Mason Rudolph, that doesn't count. That's 4 against. So we'll give it to Brock Purdy. 16 games played, 9.6 an attempt for Purdy.
But is he completing those?
Purdy was I've got Purdy 4th in the league last year, 69%. So he was balling.
Didn't make CJ's list.
Did not.
And he was 31 and 11.
Not a lot of
in
love for
touchdowns
Purdy.
versus picks.
I don't know what else people want from the man.
Over 30 TDs.
I don't know what else
and
people
11
want.
picks.
What do you want from the man? He just balls.
Should I do a little trivia question for you?
I think I'm good on trivia on Monday.
Yeah, it's not really a good one anyway. I was going to ask you guys who threw the most picks last year. And I don't think you'll know.
I do know that.
Yeah,
Sam
okay, I figured you guys
He was 20 plus, wasn't he?
Well, he was 21 and 21, which is nice.
Okay. 21. Could you do something for me? I see you, Sam.
He wasn't upside down in his vehicle, as they say, when you own a car.
Was sending you to the other side of the country. Have fun in Seattle.
All right. Does experience take home Lord Stanley, or the firepower of north of the border get it done? We'll talk to Greg Wyshynski next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
We always come through for you when you need us to. That's ECO's promise to you. And for AC repair and installation, that means today, not tomorrow. If you have an air condition breakdown, we'll get a tech out to your home today. Or we'll give you a year's EcoFi Advantage membership for free. And make no mistake, we're a repair, not replace company. Our techs are trained to give you all your repair options. Sometimes, though, it just makes more financial sense to replace. And that's where we really come through for you when you need us to. Because we'll replace your AC system same day. No sleeping overnight in a hot, humid house. Or we'll take $1,500 off the cost of your new system and provide you with portable AC units for your bedroom. That's what coming through for you when you need us to means. So if you need AC repair, call ECO for same-day service. We'll get your home cool again. We'll make it happen today.
At geteco.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
With spring ball behind us, we're officially gearing up for the most anticipated football season ever. Excited, nervous, terrified to your very core? Think of us as your emotional safe space. Always your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
This is Paige, owner of Awaken 180, with a buzz term for you. GLP-1. The buzz part doesn't mean GLP-1 isn't important. Quite the opposite. GLP-1 is a crucial hormone produced in our gut that regulates blood sugar and appetite. Basically, it helps control our weight. The buzz is because pharmaceutical companies are positioning medications as your only treatment option. But that's not true. Losing weight with Awaken 180 already supports GLP-1 function, and we're now introducing GLP-1 Balance. GLP-1 Balance by Awaken 180 addresses the root causes of weight issues by focusing on nutrition, gut health, and sleep. By addressing these areas, your body naturally balances GLP-1 levels, making weight loss easier and more sustainable without lifelong medications or side effects. If you're curious about GLP-1 Balance and how it can work for you, talk with us. Find us online at awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180, your long-term solution for weight loss.
Ohio Mulch. Landscape Supply.
Hi, this is Ron Frost with Ohio Mulch, and here's to Ohio Mulch celebrating 40 years of making the community a greener and more beautiful place, one garden at a time. Don't miss out on the opportunities to elevate your outdoor space and to be part of a journey towards the next 40 successful years. Check out our promotions online at ohiomulch.com.
Ohio Mulch, Landscape Supply. Greener, greener, better.
Summer is finally here in Ohio, and the best part about summer is the fresh fruits and vegetables. And the best place to find them, well, it's one of my favorite places to eat. That is Bob Evans, because they're going to make sure they have the farm freshest ingredients right to your plate. They have 3 new salads: the steakhouse salad, the grilled chicken chop salad, and my favorite, the summer berry salad. Grilled chicken, strawberries, blueberries, pecans, feta cheese, everything you like, it's all there, and it's all fresh and delicious. So go check them out and learn more at bobevans.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Their cholesterol numbers put all other fan hosts to shame. You are listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, we got an outstanding Stanley Cup final to look forward to. And our man, Greg Wyshynski, the senior NHL writer at ESPN, the ex-puck daddy, but he's always a puck daddy here. He's with us now on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Greg, welcome back.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. But Puck Daddy is still my nom de plume when I do sports wagering stuff for ESPN. They like it. It's like my Minnesota Fats or something. I don't know. That's what they keep calling me.
I love it, man. It's good, and we appreciate your insight. And I think it's an interesting series. It's an interesting series for us here in Columbus because of watching goalie Bob go after it. I can't get a good feeling on whether – I just think it was bad timing here, right? I mean – he was having a tough time. The timing of paying a guy $10 million was not a great idea. I think if we pay Bob $10 million a year, are we, in a conference final? Probably not. Just it's timing, right? And so he got what he got. But I love the fact that he has taken down all these President's Cup teams, and look who they've beaten as a team. They've beaten Vasilevsky. They've taken down Swayman, Shesterkin. I mean, you have a feeling like it's almost like this is so tipped in the scales goaltending-wise in this series. I can't get away from that. But there's a little part in the back of my mind, Greg, that says, now that Bob's in the final, does that matter? How does he show up? Do you trust him completely now?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's funny, I wrote about both Bob and Panarin earlier this, I guess it was last week. You can probably find the story on ESPN.com about looking back at that incredible summer of free agent riches for them and how it impacted the Blue Jackets. And, Columbus wanted to keep Bob. Like they figured Panarin was going to be the one who definitely left, and they wanted to keep Bob. But, a lot of money and the beaches of South Florida, yeah. I think combined made that tough. He's still an interesting goalie. Like last year he faced a lot of shot volume. He had to put on the Superman cape sometimes and, save 60 pucks in that quadruple overtime game. The Panthers year over year got better defensively, so he's actually faced fewer shots on average this year than he did last year. And so he's had to kind of change his mindset, change his game a little bit, be more patient, and really be there when they need him versus to always be there. And I think he's done a good job of it. He's gotten progressively better each round. And I thought he was really good in the conference final. So, he is certainly not the guy that you expect is going to lose them a Stanley Cup in this round against the Oilers.
Greg, before we dig in a little bit more on the Cup final, I do want to bring you here to Columbus and get your take on the new general manager hire. Obviously, it's been a little bit of an up and down ride the last few years for the CBJ, but looking at Don Waddell coming in, what are your thoughts on that, and what do you think he's going to be able to do here in Columbus?
Well, it's interesting, when the news surfaced about him maybe looking elsewhere and maybe talking to Columbus, there was some speculation, okay, is he just doing the thing he did last time when his contract was up where he's talking to different teams and trying to get his price tag higher so he could bring it back to Carolina and say, pay me this. But I do think that he was ready for a new challenge, ready for an organization that might be a little bit looser with the money, ready to maybe see if he can build a champion after, getting the Hurricanes to a certain level over the last few years. I think he's good. And I know from Columbus's perspective, they were looking for somebody who could not only head up hockey operations, but also had a head for the business side of things. And Don Waddell was the guy that basically ran the arena in Carolina. So, it's a really good hire on a number of fronts. I think it checks a lot of boxes for both him and for the team. And above all else, I mean, he's also a guy that, if you ask around the league, is someone that you like to be able to, teach and develop organizational talent on the managerial side. And clearly, the Blue Jackets have a few guys that could really learn under him in that position. So a good hire, a good dude, and I'm excited to see what he's able to do to make the Blue Jackets a winner.
He's got some tough decisions to make, right? They got a lot of money tied up in their goaltender and Elvis Merzlikins. They got a guy in Johnny Gaudreau they pay a lot of money to, but he'd have to waive a no trade. I don't know how much he can really do. I think people are expecting him, Greg, to come in here and just start to gut it or do make some real tough, big decisions. He may be stuck a little bit right now as far as what he can do.
I mean, there is a lot of dead weight on that cap.
Yep.
I mean, there is some guys that you want to maybe move off that cap if you're Don Waddell, because you certainly aren't the guy that signed Merzlikins or the guy that signed Gaudreau. But, he does the reason I've always felt this Blue Jackets job is desirable is for two reasons. One is the youth. I mean, obviously Fantilli on the roster, Johnson on the roster, more young players coming in through the draft this year. They definitely have some young players that they can build around in the coming years. And then the second thing, too, and let's be honest, I mean, whenever we've all probably worked a different job in our lives, and we all come in and we see where the expectations are set for our job. And the expectations in Columbus are basically make the playoffs and then, win a round in the playoffs. I mean, it is a place that has not experienced much success. And so I think from Waddell's perspective, if you go in and just make this team an annual contender, you've already cleared the bar that's set for you. So I think I'm optimistic that he's going to be able to come in and make the team better, but I'm also optimistic that the team itself is on the road to being better because of the young players they have in the system.
Real quick, what type of ceiling, Greg, do you think Fantilli has?
Oh, I fully expect that this kid's going to be a number one center in the league. I mean, he's, I think the first couple of years for any young center, unless you're, a generational talent like Bedard or McDavid or somebody, are always going to be a little tough on the learning curve aspect. Going from playing center in the NCAA, you're tasked with, score a bunch of goals. And then you get to the NHL and you realize that your responsibilities are so much greater, 200-foot game. You've got to be good in your own zone, and what you do in your own zone leads to what happens in the offensive zone. The learning curve is usually tough. And think about guys like Jack Eichel and players like that, Jack Hughes, who took a couple of years before they really actualized the star players. And I could see the same thing happening for Fantilli, but I in my watching him play and my interacting with the guy, I think he's got that star quality, and the reason why they took him in the draft.
A lot of people, when they predict these kind of things in the Stanley Cup final, Greg, they will say, I'm not betting against the best player in the world in Connor McDavid, right? And you're getting him at plus money, right? So a lot of people may predict, hey, this cup is finally going back to Canada. And the way the Oilers' penalty kill has been clicking, which has been perfect, right? 29 or 30 straight, I think, in the Western Conference final. And the Panthers' power play, which was pretty good against the Rangers, I don't know what's going to give there. I think special teams is important. We probably don't talk about it enough. But where are you in the concern for Edmonton and how they'll be able to answer this physical task of shutting down the Panthers? And the Panthers certainly have some big physical guys in their blue line to kind of slow down the firepower that McDavid and Draisaitl are bringing into this thing. Where are you leaning?
Well, the even more intriguing matchup on special teams is the Panthers' penalty kill did great against the Rangers, which was probably the best power play in the Eastern Conference. But now they're facing maybe the best power play ever in the Edmonton Oilers. They are so good. They're clicking at over 35% right now for the playoffs. If you've not seen the Oilers, McDavid basically is a rover. He just takes the puck and skates around the zone and tries to create something until he sees it. And it's almost impossible to defend what they do on the power play. So I'm intrigued by that matchup. I'm picking the Oilers. They were my Stanley Cup pick before the season. What I've seen from them that I did not expect is them figuring out how to play championship-level defense during the playoffs. When they sat their goalie, Stuart Skinner, against the Vancouver Canucks in the second round, it wasn't just to give him a reset. It was to kind of have them recommit defensively. And they've played some 60-minute defensive games against Dallas that I didn't think they had in them. And ever since Skinner came back, he's 6-2. He's got a goals against average under 2. So as much as we talk about McDavid and much as we talk about Draisaitl, Hyman, these offensive players that put up incredible numbers, it's really the defensive side of the puck that has me believing they're going to win the Cup, because that's what they've always had to figure out, and it feels like they finally have. It feels like a matchup between the best team on paper in Florida and the team that might be playing the best right now in Edmonton.
It's a great insight, and Skinner's been awesome recently, so we'll see, and he's going to relish going up against Bob, but should be a dynamite series, might even go the distance. Thanks, Greg. I hope you enjoy it. Hope we talk again soon.
Given the distance between those cities, I'm hoping it doesn't go the distance.
That's right. It is the longest one, right? Or the furthest distance.
It is the furthest distance between Stanley Cup finals. And I know people were upset about how much time there is between the games in the series. As someone who just booked his travel, let me tell you, we need every hour between those games in order to get from Edmonton to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, for a guy sitting here in the studio talking about it, I forgot all about that, but that makes sense. All right, well, safe travel, my friend.
Yep, sure thing. Thanks for having me.
Take care. Greg Wyshynski, ESPN, NHL senior writer on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, guys, we're dipping our toes into summer here. You may not feel like you have the energy you should have. You might lack motivation, mental focus. Could be low T. You've heard me talk about it before. It affects millions of men. It happens naturally, but the solution may be testosterone replacement therapy for you. I recommend Low T Center. That's where you start with the quick test. Results are fast. Please don't wait. Take control of your health. Don't let another season go by. And now is the best time to strike. Low T Center is offering a free initial test. So if you're over 30 and you're a guy out there listening, schedule that visit at lowtcenter.com today. This offer will only go till July 6th, but act now. That's lowtcenter.com. Terms and conditions apply. Tell the truth next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
When that alarm clock goes off, Morning Juice comes on. The perfect way to dominate your day or just lay around the house. Morning Juice.
Weekdays at 6.
The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Have you ever called a company and got off the phone feeling a little nervous on who they might be sending to your home? I hate that feeling. And when it comes to your roof, you don't have to worry because the team over at Newman Roofing has you covered. I should know. I had them replace my roof, and they did a fantastic job. They're a team of professionals. They arrived in marked company vehicles, and here's the best part. They arrived with a smile on their face. Their team was absolutely tremendous, and they were friendly. They made you feel like they were part of the family. So here's what's going to happen. That friendly team member, they're going to sit down and they're going to talk to you and they're going to educate you on the findings of your home. They're not going to talk down to you. They're going to explain to you everything. So when it comes to your roofing needs, there's one place to go. The most trusted roofing company in Ohio for the last 32 years. That's where I went. I trust them. And I know Tim and his team are going to do a fantastic job for you. So give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF or go check them out online at newmanroofing.com. That's newmanroofing.com.
I have done in my career literally thousands of joint replacements.
Meet Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, National Medical Director at QC Kinetics, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon who now advises patients try all they can do to avoid the knife and consider regenerative medicine.
I myself was able to continue skiing for 10 years after my knees started to be a problem because I accessed regenerative medicine.
Now, after 20 years of study, research, teaching, publications, and clinical experience, Dr. Scheinkup is regarded as one of America's true pioneers.
This is the future of medicine.
Dr. Scheinkup came to QC Kinetics after seeing what they were doing around the country, helping tens of thousands of patients get lasting relief from joint pain with no surgery and no drugs.
QC is so far ahead of the game in its science, its protocols, its people, its facilities.
Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple of weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. I need you to listen up real quick. One of the largest manufacturers in the United States for CPAP machines recently announced they're suspending sales of all their breathing machines over problems with the devices. Millions of Philips Respironic ventilators and CPAP machines are being recalled now that they've reached a plea agreement with the FDA. That all doesn't sound good. And maybe you're thinking, yeah, that's why I'm not going to deal with my sleep apnea because I don't want to have a bulky CPAP. Well, this is where you need to call my guy, Dr. Mark Levy. Dr. Mark Levy has dedicated his practice to helping people who suffer from sleep apnea, and he can create a custom mouthpiece for you that stops your snoring and effectively treats your sleep apnea with no CPAP machine. Yeah, he's in network with most major medical insurers and is a Medicare provider too. This is Dr. Mark Levy's passion. He's been doing this a long time. He wants to help you with your sleep apnea and also make it so your partner doesn't want to murder you dead because you snore so much. So do what I did. Call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or book an appointment online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Find easy ways to store your outdoor tools and accessories at Menards. Suncast provides high quality and easy to assemble storage. Suncast storage sheds are the perfect solution for organizing and protecting your outdoor tools and equipment. Plus, their all-weather construction is low maintenance. Explore all our outdoor storage options in store and on Menards.com. And check out more of our great deals going on now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
All right, CB, take us home.
All right, a lot of Memorial Week questions for you. Let's start off with this one. It's very simple. Tell the truth. What is your favorite part of this week?
For me, it's just kind of it's just good vibes. It seems like when you're out there, right? Like obviously, there's a bunch of golf heads out there, but it just seems like too, like even if you're not the biggest golf guy or gal, you can come out, have a good time, have good food, have some drinks, walk around, and just enjoy yourself. For me, I just like the energy of being there because where you and I do the show, we're not consuming a bunch of golf, right? We're out in front, close to the shop, and all that, and I love the energy that it provides for the couple of days that we're out there.
Maddie's working for Dublin Tourism Office. It was perfect. That was about as good as it gets. They should hire you. Yeah, I think most people say it's kind of the ultimate people watching, right? Yeah. You're kind of it's the big outdoor party that's kind of encased.
Yeah.
So you feel like you're kind of stepping into the bubble a little bit, and you don't need to be outside that bubble for anything. So that's it. When something like this invades your town and you get these guys at the highest level and then the reputation of Jack Nicklaus being involved, you kind of walk around a little bit kind of strutting your stuff. It's like, this is in our town, this is our guy, and we're all a part, we're all invited. Everyone's invited that wants to be invited.
I agree.
Nobody on the outside looking in if you don't want to be. So you nailed it.
It's two of the best things I think Columbus does. There's so many good things in the city, but a Saturday on
crab
campus.
cakes and football?
Oh, that's my own neck of the woods. But Saturdays down by the shoe for a home game, and then the Memorial, I think are two of the best things our city does within a calendar year.
People in football. People watching in football. That's what Columbus does.
You can't handle the truth.
I think in this scenario, it would be milkshakes and golf. Is that correct?
Well, you can't, unfortunately.
No? Some people, go ahead.
Unfortunately, they haven't made the milkshakes public for the patrons,
that's fair.
CB, so
okay,
I can't put that in there.
Does this work? How about transfusions in golf? Does that play? White Claws, high noons in golf?
I'll tell you what. I need to tweet you a picture, Maddie, although I can't tag you in pics. Sorry, that's not done.
I don't need.
You got to set it up with a lot of security on your social media.
Send the scandalous pics to somebody else.
No, this was a picture. This was transfusion style.
Okay.
All right, it's another Memorial Week question. We'll get into it more as the week goes on, but as of Monday, tell the truth. Who is your long shot as of today?
Long shot. So what do you think? Like 50 to 1 or better?
I think that's fair.
40?
That's fair.
We're going 50? Okay.
In a weird way, I think I either want to say Sam Burns. I think he's 60 to 1. I don't know where he is on Bet365. He came in 16th last year. I know he missed the cut at the PGA, but he's top 30 at the Masters last year. And then a guy that usually plays pretty well here on occasion is Billy Horschel. Okay. Where he's like 75 or 80 to 1. So I think that could happen. This is an early time of the week to be asking us this.
You got a couple days. I saw Jay Day floating around at 60 to 1.
You know, doesn't seem to click here.
Yeah, it's weird, but I just, for whatever reason, I'll keep swinging at that. But the guy that I'm kind of liking that, you went 50 to 1. I saw 40 to 1 earlier for Thagala. And I like his game, AR. There's something about his game that I like. Caught a few tournaments here recently, and I like where he's at. So, CB, if you'll allow a 40 to 1 to enter the conversation, I'll go with Sahith Thagala.
Top 10 of the Masters.
I know my truth?
I know my truth.
All right, next up, today's fan poll. The question is, what Braxton Miller highlight play at Ohio State is your favorite of the following? The late touchdown pass against Wisconsin, the long TD run versus Michigan, the juke and jive touchdown versus Penn State, and the spin move versus Virginia Tech.
It was the spin her around the world. It was that, because there was so much conversation and so much just kind of wait and see in a positive way energy around Braxton and what he was going to do at a new position. And one of the first times we ever saw him was that moment at Virginia Tech on the road, and he bust out that highlight. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the spin move.
Right, and then the nickname, the X-Brax 360 and all that. I would say, to me, it's the last second one against Wisconsin. And I'll tell you for a couple reasons why. So get your button ready. Ooh. One, it was homecoming. And two, it beat Russell Wilson. He was still playing for the Badgers.
Mr. Unlimited.
There he is.
And the weird part about where football is now is that Ohio State scored 33 points with putting the ball in the air 12 times. Like, that's the weirdest part about it. Yep. Daniel Boomherron owned the game, but Braxton owned the end.
Didn't they beat Illinois that year by, like, a single-digit amount of completions? Or maybe it was the year after, but it was something crazy like that, too, on the road.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Trying to think of that. That was the game that they blasted.
Very windy. No, it was very windy at Illinois.
But not the same year.
Maybe not the same year.
Wisconsin.
But yeah, that was pretty consistent in his time there.
Also, when you had Carlos Hyde and these guys, and you could give them the ball 24, 30, whatever.
Everybody get your roll on. Like, we're just rolling with the run game.
But how do you score 33 points putting the ball in the air 12 times? In a good game. I mean, pretty strong.
He ain't lying.
All right, and my final question for you today, real quick. Dan Campbell, before the weekend, said the truth is that pressures are more important than sacks. Is he telling the truth?
100%. Because if you get to the quarterback 9 times throughout a season, but you get him down to the ground, but you pressure him 20, 30-plus times, I'll take that all day long.
There's a little nuance in there. Could be when you get that key sack. It could be.
That's fair.
But I started thinking about that with Ohio State. Affecting the quarterback affects so much, even if you don't sack him. That's right.
And the truth shall set you free.
If you missed Greg Wyshynski previewing the Stanley Cup Final, Sam Monson talking all things NFL, and Spencer Holbrook talking Buckeye footballs Buckeye football, wherever you get your podcast. Type in Rothman and Ice. Those interviews and a lot more will be waiting for you.
So many footballs, so little time. Move out of the way for Conrad and T-Bone, Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. This is a Fan Action Update.
This NFL Action Update is brought to you by Tipico. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Pittsburgh Steelers have the longest odds in the AFC North at plus 650. Their odds to make the playoffs this season are plus 175 to make and minus 225 to miss. Over-under season win total sits at 8.5, and the Steelers are 50 to 1 to win the Super Bowl. Good for a tie for the 18th best odds in the NFL. For your Tipico Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
We go to war for you.
Burn injuries can be devastating, but you don't have to face them alone. Call Sugar Chenard Trial Attorneys today at 877-WAR-FOR-YOU.
We go to war for you. WarForYou.com.
This is Paige, owner of Awaken 180, with a buzz term for you. GLP-1. The buzz part doesn't mean GLP-1 isn't important. Quite the opposite. GLP-1 is a crucial hormone produced in our gut that regulates blood sugar and appetite. Basically, it helps control our weight. The buzz is because pharmaceutical companies are positioning medications as your only treatment option. But that's not true. Losing weight with Awaken 180 already supports GLP-1 function, and we're now introducing GLP-1 Balance. GLP-1 Balance by Awaken 180 addresses the root causes of weight issues by focusing on nutrition, gut health, and sleep. By addressing these areas, your body naturally balances GLP-1 levels, making weight loss easier and more sustainable without lifelong medications or side effects. If you're curious about GLP-1 Balance and how it can work for you, talk with us. Find us online at awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180, your long-term solution for weight loss.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just a slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
With Tim Hortons 2 hot breakfast sandwiches for $6 deal, you can mix and match your favorites. Mix and match between savory sausage or naturally hickory smoked bacon. Mix and match between an English muffin or flaky biscuit. Any two served with a freshly cracked egg and melted cheese. You can even mix and match how you share it. One for you, one for them, 2 for them, or 2 just for you. There's no wrong way to mix and match this tasty deal. 2 breakfast sandwiches for just $6. It's time for Tim's. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Single item at regular price. Modifications and tax extra. Additional terms apply.
If you're about to get engaged or ready to walk down the aisle, your true love deserves a true jeweler, the Diamond Seller. As a true jeweler, we not only have designer collections to meet your bridal needs, but we also have talented in-house designers who can create something truly one of a kind. Visit the Diamond Seller today.
Broadcasting from the